Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000 AD, and today we're joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossy, what you want? On a tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle for a home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday, we're on the same.
Hello from, it was kind of sunny Southern California yesterday. This episode is brought to you by Bang. Any means orange. Let's see what that takes.
The amount of crap you drink. Mr. John Burtis.
Hello to all you drockers from the Garden of England, where it's just, well, it's not as fucking hot as it was. What have we got today? It's roughly 23 degrees. Woo! So I can sit here relaxed, and not using our lovely fan thing that I bought the other week, which was a well cheaper than Dyson's crap. I think it's a Daewoo. You know those fucking ones where the air gets sucked in and it just gets pushed. It's like a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And the air comes straight out the other side. Well, it was fucking like the Dyson one that I went for a couple of years back when it was getting hot, and they all sold out. Plus, you couldn't even test them in the store. They were like 300, 400, 500 quid. Well, this one was only 60 quid. And as the person in Robert Dyer said, it's 300 odd quid cheaper than the fucking Dyson ones. Well, he didn't swear, obviously. But I thought, well, I'll get one of them. And it works a treat. So I just sit it in front of the telly, put it on the old oscillation, get the angle right, and then it'll just sweeps past us, and it's quite nice. Only put on for like 5-10 minutes just to when you come back in from Summit. But and then when I got it, I told Karen was up at mum's at the time, and I popped in, and then her mum goes, "Oh, that was it. I had it in the car, so I brought it in to test it because I'd only just bought it." And then and Karen went, "Oh, we've only just been talking about getting. My mum's just been talking about getting one." And I thought, fucking hell, I know what's coming next. I'm going to have to go down the town and get bloody one. which I did. But yeah, it makes a treat. But now the sun's turned down a little bit, so it's not as hot. But what makes me laugh is I complain about the heat when it gets into double figures. So that's me, right?
Yeah.
All these other people in the UK who fucking, oh, I love it. I love all this fucking heat. A couple of days into this week heat we've had, they've all been crying, screaming and whinging. I'm like, hang on a second. You can't pick and choose how long the heat is for you. You either love the heat or you don't. I'm not having this fucking shit when you all suddenly say you don't like it now. That's not on. You know what I mean? We went on holiday in the middle of fucking August to Marrakesh. That was my idea. We come over to America in the hottest times, Death Valley and things like that. You know, just fucking out. Now, if you go abroad on holidays and it's hot there, don't fucking whinge when it's hot over here. You know, it's just fucking. And but the thing what annoys me the most is the amount of coverage it gets on the news. It's the opening story. I'm sure when that fucking, I tell you what, I'm sure it was lucky, not in a lucky way because loads of people died, which we'll get to in a minute. When them double earthquakes hit fucking where was it? Over your
Venezuela.
side. Venezuela. Just on the Gulf of America. So all the people died. Now, if they'd have died like 2 days earlier, they would probably got a second or third mention on the news because it was still hot. You know what I mean? But it's fucking insane. I'm just like, fuck me, give us some other news. The days when reporters were fucking investigative are long gone in the world. You know what I mean? Because all they do is whinge about the same things and just try to push it and push it and push it.
Climate change.
Yeah, and it's just constant, you know what I mean? Since the records began. What, 140 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, all this, you know what I mean? Now, I've never denied if you could do something to make it better. Like I say, we have the bucket in the shower and we use that to water the garden and shit. Whatever. But you know what I mean? It's just like, well, all that first bit of water's cold, so you might as well do that.
Your governments won't even allow air conditioners over there.
Oh, yeah, there was a thing where the air conditioner, you've got some air conditioners that also heat up.
Yeah.
Right? And they allowed them because they heated, but then they realised they made it cold and there was a big fucking hoo-ha. But all the ones that didn't do any heat, yeah, they were trying to ban them and all that. And you just think, this is just fucking constant, isn't it? It's like this Labour government, and I don't do much politics apart from having a laugh, but all the people who voted for this Labour government, everybody that's famous, I've seen loads of regret. I've seen famous fucking chefs whinging about all this and the other, and I just think, you wanted this lot in. They hate business. They destroy business. Yet business is what pays for the fucking public sector.
What you've done is you swapped out one wanker for another wanker because he's just as bad as the one before.
That's right. And when people go, it was a landslide election. Well, it was. Technically, it was. Well,
Burnham wasn't voted in, though, was he?
Oh, I know about this Nobel that's coming in now. Yeah, he's not voted in. But the thing is, the last one, Keir Starmer, when he won, people go like, and it was factually correct, a landslide election with victory for him. What? 20% of the country voted for the person who now fucking control the country. That's not a landslide in numbers, right? It's the first past the post bollocks. But any day that first past the post doesn't mean that Labour or Tories get in, they'll be shouting for some other fucking way to do the elections because they don't want other people to get in. But anyway, enough of all of that shit. Let's talk about deaths, baby. Right. It was very sad this morning when I finished work. I got home. I quickly opened the computer up, and still no fucker had died that I thought was worthy. It was fucking sad.
No one was
Nobody.
Mentioning.
All those people who died in Venezuela, not one of them was I could be bothered with. You know what I mean? All the people around the world, nobody. All the Russian names that I saw up there, and the fucking whatever, and the German and all that, none of them meant anything in any of the thing or any of the groups that I say we have to have. Like, if it's Mexican, they've got to be wrestlers or actresses for you. You know what I mean? Cartoon people, all that sort of stuff. Nobody. And it was fucking. And I got up half an hour ago, had my shower, come downstairs, got on there again. Fuck me, still nobody dead. Then Flint sent a message. I'm sure it was you, wasn't it, Flint?
Yeah.
Sent that message in the chat. And oh, fucking hell, there ain't nothing like
the heavens opened up and the Lord shined on you.
That's right. So as we sing in there ain't nothing like a dame. Yes, that's right. Dame Penelope Keith, aged 86, English actress, has died. She hasn't passed on or anything like that. She's died from cancer. Now, I was looking at all their stuff, and we all know it from The Good Life and To the Manor Born, but The Good Life mainly. And if you love the young ones, you'll love The Good Life because of the secret fucking love for a certain character on the Good Life. But anyway, this was the thing that I was. This is the one that I was fascinated by. So it says, she succeeded Lord Olivier as president of the Actors Benevolent Fund after his death in 1989 and was appointed Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Boo! British Empire! Evil, evil. Anyone who accepts something from the British Empire or the fucking the king for anything, if they've slagged off the government and all that, you're a traitor to your beliefs. That's what I say. If you've slagged off the
John
government...
Wagner.
Yes, because we know you get a letter well before we all know about it to say, we're going to do this. Will you accept it? And if you don't accept it, you write back, no, I don't want it. And that's the end of it. But if you've slagged off the government for the eternally, why would you accept something? But anyway, so She joined the Royal Shakespeare Company in '63, well before I was born, and went on to win the 1976 Olivier Award for the Best Comedy Performance. And then it goes how she became Margot Ledbetter and the sitcom The Good Life, right? Now, when I went down into other stuff, television, filmography, theatre's her main love. And I know a lot of theatrical lovies prefer doing theatre, and they'll do other stuff just to pay for them to go back to theatre, because theatre doesn't pay that much. And I know fucking a couple of the big hitters, Patrick Stewart and other people like that, did that. They would do stuff, and then they could be like 2 years doing theatrical stuff. But anyway, so let's start with their films. Not many. She was in Carry On Doctor as a nurse, but sadly her scenes were cut.
What?
She was also
That doesn't count.
Well, she was in it. I said the scenes were cut. Then she was in. Then she was in your favourite film from 1972, Mr. Ross, Rent a Dick.
Ooh, Mrs.
And she was a reporter in that. She was also in Ghost Story, Penny Gold, The Hounds of the Baskervilles in '78, and she was a massage receptionist. Ooh, Mrs. And then she did. She was a voices in Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, and I'm sure that's for the British version, because they do that. In TV, she started in The Army Game. Now, this Flint will know all of these names. You probably know quite a few with your love of the British shit. The Army Game, Dixon and Doc Green, The Avengers, 3 episodes of The Avengers. Emergency Ward 10, Comedy Playhouse, ITV Playhouse, Two's Company. Then she hit it big, The Good Life. 3 years that was, 75 to 78. She did 11 episodes of Jack and Ori. Morecambe and Wise. She did Morecambe and Wise Show Christmas Special, which was, if you did this Christmas special, you were top of the tree that year on British TV.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. If you were in the Morecambe and Wise Show
Morecambe
at
Wise
Christmas
show, yeah.
that was the biggest thing on the telly at the time. Every Christmas, every fucker watched that.
One of the funniest episodes was Peter Cushing looking for his money, his appearance money.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
They would never pay him.
We actually got that show. So we
probably got the ITV show because they went off. They got kicked off the BBC and they went to ITV. The same thing happened to Benny Hill. So you probably got the ITV show, the Morecambe and Wise show, the ITV show, not the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, we got the whatever that package was. We got Morecambe and Wise, Benny. Well, they started us off with Benny Hill, Morecambe and Wise, Dave Allen at Large.
Yeah, Dave Allen at Large. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, she did To the Manor Born, where she did another posh lady in that. She was in quite a few episodes of that, all the episodes of the series, I should say. Then she was in stuff like Hay Fever. Then she did loads of kiddie stuff as well, like Tickle on the Tongue, Teletubbies, Tinga Tales, and things like that. But theatre is where she did all of her stuff. I mean, basically, like Tempest, Julius Caesar, Henry VI, Richard III, Oedipus. How do you do that? Oedipus. Fuck me. How do you pronounce that?
Diplodocus.
No, it's Oedipus Rex.
Oh, Oedipus.
Oedipus Rex.
That's it. Oedipus Rex. Well, get rid of that fucking hole. She was in
we'll travel back in time and tell the Greeks and Romans to do the same thing, John.
That's it.
I thought all British people knew all the classes.
Knew every word.
All the,
oh no, but
no,
even news people, when they're saying areas in the country, get the area, the local area wrong. There's one down in Kent. It's said Trottersley, but if you looked at the word, you'd never in a million years say that what I've just said. So she was in Norman Conquest, Hobson's Choice, The Dragon's Tail, Deep Blue Sea, The Importance of Being Earnest.
know what I mean, Vern?
That's right. Rivals, Theatrical Digs, loads and loads of stuff. Awards for loads of stuff as well, like nominations and winnings. So, yeah, if she doesn't make at least second place on the TV on the main news tonight, I'll be fucking disgusted. Because she was like much love for a good 20 years, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, if like a fucking TikToker person died, they'd be the fucking main news, the modern day fucking parlance and shit like that, which annoys me. But anyway, yes. So Penelope Keith, aged 86, she is the quintessential posh bird. If you think of a posh English woman, you'll think of Penelope Keith.
Yeah, she's kind of typecast that way.
Yeah.
If you're named Penelope,
yeah, that's a giveaway.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and she was 5'10", and that's why she didn't get into certain acting. Yeah, 5'10", so she didn't get into a certain acting school. She went to her second choice. But yes, so goodbye, Penelope. Thank you for the fun and the laughter that we had watching you.
Yeah, that and Prunella.
Prunella Scales.
You name your daughter Prunella, you know it's gonna be like high class chick.
That's it. I always think though, if you leave the planet and die, and you disappear into the ether, and behind you've left love. Everyone loves you through whether it be music, art, comedy, films, whatever. You've done a good job. You know what I mean? You've left the planet, and everyone's just got good memories. I'm sure people in the family, some haven't, because obviously every family's got the bad ones, haven't they, Mr. Ross?
That's right.
Yes. So every fucker in my family's fucking insane. But yeah. So I will look forward to seeing how they fucking pass their demise on the main news tonight. I don't think there's any of that shitty fucking sports shit on. The UK is insane now because it's Wimbledon as well, which means the TV is fucking shite.
Well, now is the time to break out the movies. We'll talk about.
Well, actually, Kickstarter corner, Rossy, what you got?
How many more hours for Kyla?
I think Kyla got a day left. What's interesting about the Kyla thing is it got a bump of like more pledges this morning. That I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
That's from all the Antarctic Press people who watched the.
No, can't be. Can't be.
All 24 of them.
Yeah, it's not that. It must have been. I'll have to check the mailing list to see if they're all from the mailing list. But I got a good bump on the Comic Geek Speak guys. I appeared on the Comic Geek Speak show.
Oh God, I got to listen to that again. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got mentioned, Rossy, and so did John.
I can just imagine.
Yeah.
So, well,
yeah, I talked about how you wrote War and Peace, and when I put all the captions together on the page, you couldn't see any of the artwork. But that was just the first strip. Yeah. Well, I said that was a good example of of how things change. Like when you get a full script and then trying to work the Marvel way.
Yeah.
And how it's when you just partnered with somebody in the beginning can be tough, but then in the second episode it got better.
Mm-hmm.
The second part. So I mentioned that, and I did mention that it was a Spite strip, a Spite comic, a little bit of a Spite comic, because I didn't mention the others by name, but I mentioned what a Spite comic is, and they were like, "What's a Spite comic?" Well, it's like a Spite house, and I had to explain what a Spite house was. And one guy in the show mentioned Larry David, because there's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry goes into this coffee shop and he's treated really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Basically because of him being him,
right.
being difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides, screw this, I'm gonna open up a coffee shop next door and offer everything cheaper, like a Spite coffee shop.
Jesus.
But it's a really funny episode. Back when Larry David was funny.
Yeah,
he was. I never got Seinfeld, although Seinfeld was like the big hit for him, for Larry David. But Curb Your Enthusiasm that's an amazing show, just an incredible show. Yeah, so I mentioned that on the Comic Geek Speak, but I hadn't talked to those guys for years, so it was good to see them all back. That show started back in 2005 or six or something. Comic Geek Speak had gone on for well over 20 years. And the original cast or the original crew on that podcast, they kind of went their separate ways after like around 2012 or 13 or something, and they handed it over to a new group. And then they decided in the last year, oh, let's come back and let's do more. I'm like, okay, so the original crew is back minus one because one guy passed away. He actually passed away during the initial beginning, like the initial run way back when. Nice guy too, but he revealed he had cancer on the show and everything, and he was doing treatment, and of course the treatment didn't take, but died pretty young. I think he was probably. I'm trying to see if he was in his early 50s. So he died pretty young, but he's a great guy. And yeah, the Comic Geek Speak show has been. I don't know what their audience is, how big their audience is, but it was pretty big back in the day. They used to have like their own comic book forums, and the difference between their forum and everybody else's is that their forum was actually civilized.
No.
You could. It's amazing. It was absolutely incredible. I even said that to them that you could have political arguments on there. There's two guys that would always. Dave Wachter, who's a Marvel artist now. He's done stuff for Marvel. We used to call him Citizen Dave because he's basically a communist, and he'd have no problem with that. And then there was another guy, just Bill, and he was the complete opposite. And the two of them would argue all the time, but it was always civil. There was never any mudslinging or, and then things got heated. They'll just be like, oh, I'm sorry. And like they everybody got on great in those forums, which is a miracle because comic book forums back then, if you had those forums today, it'll be good. Like, oh boy. Yeah. It was really a great time. And they had this, guy would call in and he was Captain America. He'd do an old fashioned voice, like an old timey voice, and he was Captain America, and he was Drunk Cap. He was always called in drunk.
Oh yeah, you were telling us about that guy.
Yeah, and oh my God, I listened to the best of Drunk Cap. You have a section called the best of Drunk Cap. And you'd have to know your Marvel Comics history of Captain America too, because he mentions then there was one time where I became a wolf. The whole Cap Wolf thing. It's you'll be in tears laughing at Drunk Cap, absolutely in tears. You'd always get the host name wrong. Hey, Jeremy, and it's like okay, Johnny. He'd always get the name wrong, but it's the funniest thing. Drunk Cap. I mean, they were good times. I mean, they even at one stage had their own convention. They would celebrate like reaching 100 episodes or 200 episodes, 300 episodes, and have a little kind of party and get together for it.
Oh, like
so
some pizza place or something, or
I think they would rent out like a small little convention hall.
oh
Yeah, and then it turned into like a little kind of mini convention. But that's how big they got. And they would get lots of sponsorship too. It was a really really great show and a really great bunch of guys. So
nice.
I was on their podcast promoting Kyla. So I wonder if that got the bump because that episode was released on, I think it was released Friday, so that might have got a bump.
Is it is it audio only, or do we see your fuzzy face?
No, it's audio.
Okay.
It's audio only. Yeah. It's a great little podcast. So Kyla's got like a day left. I did get my Eduardo Rizzo finally from Alien Books.
Hey.
Yeah, and they kind of, it was like an apology thing. They included a couple of prints in there and trading cards that, like printed trading cards that Eduardo Rizzo had done as a kind of like, hey, we know we're late and we messed up. Here you go. Kind of nice. Which is kind of nice. The book is beautiful. I still don't know if I, during the Alien Books time that they had the whole, when they launched that, they had the whole diamond crash.
Oh yeah.
So that didn't help, and then all the tariffs on Chinese publishers or printers. Mm-hmm. So they had to work their way around that. So there's lots of issues that they had, and I think the person that was running the Kickstarter, I think they brought in somebody new to try and fulfill everything. So it was kind of a bit messy behind the scenes. But Alien Books do that Zorro book that you like.
Which one?
The new Zorro, I think is the Chaikin one.
Oh yeah, the regular monthly comic, it's called like Heroic or something like that, or it's not Heroic, but it's like Hero something. So that's all them, huh?
Well, I think it's Alien. Yeah, I think Alien Books are the ones that are doing the Zorro stuff, not Mad Cave.
Right. No, I knew that. It would well, the artwork is beautiful. It looks like Alex Toth, but the story was like, ugh. So and they had another one that was like another old timey character that the artwork was really good, but it was just sort of like, if you're okay with it being like the 300th time that this story's been told or whatever, but
well, yeah, I mean, to somebody, it's their first time reading those stories.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
I mean, how many Batman stories are there since its publication?
Oh, geez, yeah,
and Superman.
Right. Well, that was part of what we were talking about yesterday, was about the continuity. Does continuity matter? It's like
yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah. So
yeah. So they did a Zorro book, which surprised me. It's written by Howard Chaykin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he tries to put a lot of extra stuff into it. So.
Well, usually when Howard Chaykin writes something that's outside of Big Two, it has to have somebody getting a blowjob in
it. Excellent.
I mean, he did anything he writes that's his own stuff or outside of the Big Two. Although he did for the Black Hawk miniseries that he did that launched the regular Black Hawk series back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like a standalone. It wasn't supposed to be part of DC continuity. Talking about continuity, it was supposed to be its own little project. Even in that, he did it.
Did he try to do a giant size special called Big Black Hawk?
Well, that was Black Kiss.
Oh yeah.
I mean, anything that he did that was outside the norm always had to have somebody getting a BJ.
You know what? Without even having to check the issues, I would say that American Flag definitely has to have something like that in there too.
That's Jacob.
I don't even have to check my math. I could just say that. And
he's an incredible artist, Chaykin. I love his designery work. I loved his Red Sonja stuff. It's not as good as Frank Thorne, but his Red Sonja stuff was good. His Solomon Kane was great. Like his early stuff, I really love his early stuff. And when he was trying all the design work, and he did some stuff I think for Epic magazine or Heavy Metal. I think it might have been Epic.
What was the one he did before American Flag? And was it for Atlas? It was yet another story.
Cody Starbuck or something.
Yeah, they all have like Buccaneer boots and everything that.
Yeah, that great stuff. I mean, you can see I have the Art of Howard Chaykin book as well. That's really good. The only thing with Chaykin is that he came out on a rant against Mandami. Like what Mandami's doing and the people that Mandami's endorsed that have won are basically communists and want the death of Western civilization. I'm like, well, dude, you probably voted for the motherfucker to begin with. Like all these people coming out and complaining about him are ones that support him, like Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Right. Now Robert De Niro's thinking, well, I'm gonna have to leave New York because my taxes are gonna shoot through the roof and I can't pay for my kids.
So I'm like, suffer.
Yeah, well, dude, you voted for him.
Yeah.
What do you mean he didn't do what he said he was going to do?
He told everybody.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, enough about that. Yeah. So the Rizzo book got delivered, and the Kyla Kickstarter's got a day left to go, a few hours. Pretty good. Apart from that, everything's good. What about you, Rossy? You pick up anything?
I'm trying to think of what I got in the mail. Oh yes, I did. I got Spy Bunnies. Ben Dunn Spy Bunnies showed up in a short amount of time. Looks good. Pretty much what I paid for. I got Andrew Sawyer's book, so that looks good too.
It's just volume 10 of his pinups.
Jesus. It might as well be. It all becomes like, I mean,
all becomes a blur after a while, right?
In all fairness, it does. But this was
it's still great stuff, though.
This one's a hardcover.
Oh, nice.
The form factor is really nice. For hardcover with dust jacket, well packaged. I don't know if he on purpose doesn't sign things unless you ask or whatever, but it was just strictly the book. And then I did take advantage of the free shipping thing. So it was just, the price of the book was kind of like enough as it was, but if it had been...
Oh, that shipping probably killed him. I wonder how he managed to get free shipping.
Well, we had a hour and a half chat instead of the usual 8-hour one after, because my phone was about to die. And so he said that he was going to have to try to figure something out for any other international shippers, because I think he let this one go because he knows me. So it was appreciated. So hopefully
You done a Howard shaking on him.
Yeah, well, you know what? Hopefully he didn't I don't think he made any money off of it, but hopefully he didn't lose any money off of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, because usually he'll slip in like extra crap. So he did throw in like some stickers and a few other things that could, just go flat inside the book. But yeah, I'm a very happy customer. So like I said, I couldn't have afforded it if I had to pay for the shipping on it. But if we met each other halfway, then, for this time, cool.
Yeah, that was a nice one, because shipping is a killer, man. Even it's like explaining, I think last week, if in the shipping that we do for white heat, if the weight of the package is over 8 ounces, an extra $3 or $4 is added, and if it's for overseas, you're talking $8 to $10. So it's like, oh my gosh! But the package you get is like Fort Knox.
Yeah.
It's the packages. The comic book will be really well kept, but it's like that's the price you pay for. I could send it to them through normal mail, and it'll get all wrinkled and dog-eared and crap. But if by using the service I use, that's expensive, but it's worth it. Everything arrives in pristine format and pristine shape. So, but shipping is a killer.
Yeah. So like I said, not really Kickstarters, because I'm cutting down on that. I'm gonna have to ask somebody at the 77 about the ball cycle one, because I got some emails saying like it's coming, and then I got another one saying like half of them have been shipped and blah 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 blah. All I ordered was the digital copy. I don't know if there's not sending out digital copies until all the hard copies are sent out, or what, but I haven't seen. And when I was out, I've been swimming in emails. I'm just trying to delete shit that I don't have to actually answer and get caught up with everything else. So it may have been in there somewhere. Anyway, so I think that's the only other one aside from the Kyla Treasury that's out there that I haven't gotten yet. So, and Kyla, obviously it's not, nothing is over. So
yeah, it's on its way to finishing up another day in a few hours.
Yeah. I hope we get 100 backers though.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got for Father's Day, my son sent me some cash, Amazon cash, to buy a book, so I ended up buying the DC Finest, The Demon. It's a reprint of all that Kirby stuff, but it's over 500 pages. Right?
Wow.
Like it's like a it's like an omnibus without being an omnibus.
And it's like 10 2000AD omnibuses.
There you go. And it had all the Kirby stuff in it, but then it also had some Michael Golden Demon stuff that he did. And then I had like another, what was the other artist on it as well? I mean, it had some really, included not just the Kirby run, the 12 issues or whatever, but also that and other stuff in there featuring the Demon. And it's like, oh my God, talk about value for money. Like that I think the DC Finest collections are DC's answer to the Marvel Epic collections. But DC's got a way bigger library than Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they've been reprinting a lot of stuff, and they'll have the years where these comic books appeared in the back and everything else, so you can have a nice library. Now they cost a bit of money each volume. I think if you were to go to your local comic book store, they cost between I think they're like $39
mm,
or 29 or 39. But if you order on Amazon, of course, you can get a deal on them.
right.
But it's great. The only thing is the coloring is the coloring is it's not the modern day coloring, but it's like the old school coloring, but on real white paper.
Oh,
But you can really
yeah.
see the line. You can really see the line work, the ink work of the artists. But it's not like what Marvel are doing, where they will go in and they'll computer color everything and it'll look horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not done that way. It's kind of like a midway between um the old school way on newsprint. It's like a step above that. It's like something you would have gotten. Remember the Baxter paper and all that kind of crap they had
Right.
back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more or less like that, but it's fantastic stuff. I'm actually amazed by how much they put into the volume.
Some of that stuff, it's really weird because some of the ones I've seen lately, it feels like they're sort of experimenting with formats, because like that old school coloring, because like the new coloring that's sort of like done on a computer, it looks fine on the really glossy paper, because most of the new comics are printed on that. But there was something about that combination of what do they call that, four
Oh, it
color
has Steve. It
printing.
has Steve Ditko's demon stuff that he did in there.
Uh-huh. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
that was the
See,
other art. Yeah,
okay.
so great stuff.
Yeah. So, but like some of the older stuff, what do they call that, four color printing? When they put it on the glossy paper, it just looks garish and weird sometimes. But then it feels like, I think some of them I've seen, they've sort of like made the glossy paper look slightly yellowed or slightly muted. And then there was one experiment where they tried to use the computer coloring on Jack Kirby's artwork, and that did not work.
No.
But like, way back in the day, for reasons unknown, they decided to reprint the first 12 issues of, get ready, John, Micronauts,
Bing, bing,
um,
bing.
on that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bell sounded. I thought it would show up the ring sound. So
Uh-huh.
when I played back the podcast last week, the ring sound didn't show up, and like, oh, I had to insert the ring sound.
No, I mean, it's funnier that we're just like going like, oh, I got
Bing, bing,
hurt.
bing.
So anyway, and for reasons unknown, they took the time and trouble to do sort of like a watercolored printing job. So it was on the nice Mando paper. I don't think it was. I don't know the difference between Mando paper and Baxter stock. I know both of them are like the high end paper. One's kind of um, matte finish, and the other one's glossy. So it was sort of a matte finish, and then it had like this almost like watercolored looking coloring job, and it looked great. But I don't think anybody's in their right mind's going to take the time to watercolor some of these older comic books.
Yeah. So you don't have anything on Kickstarter, right, Rossy? You're done now.
I don't have anything. Well, oh yeah, no, I have a bunch of stuff. I mean, I've got the Luchadors versus everything, but they send updates. The ball cycle, I have to look into that, and then I think that may be it. So, coming soon to Kickstarter, I've seen the pages of Cerebus meets Ninja High School, and Tomorrow Girl meets then the Intergalactic Ninja. And, I mean, I know I have a dog in the fight in both of them, but they both look absolutely fantastic. So that'll be something I'll be shelling in the future. But as far as buying on Kickstarter, it's got to be like, the best of the. When I bought a lot of the stuff and paid premium prices, like for that other Raphael Galur Luchador painting book, I was like, if I'm going to get this is going to be the last one of those. And the same thing with the Luchadors versus everything. I'm like, this, I already have like 2-3 books about the Mexican wrestling movies. If I get this one, this has got to be the last one. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Movies and TV, John, what you got?
I'll put some peanuts in your mouth.
You're putting what in your mouth? What?
Peanuts. I just put some peanuts.
Were you inspired by the Howard Chaykin talk, or what? How?
No, I'm just hungry. Well, there's only one film worth watching this week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Citizen Vigilante.
Oh.
And I watched it on.
Tell me all about it.
I watched it on the X, 1 hour 29, and it's not rated. It's got a 6.8 on IMDb, starring Armie Hammer and other people. I don't know how they got the other people to portray the evil people. They must have paid them a few quid. And basically, it's a social commentary, Death Wish. Right. Did I think it was any good? The story was all right. It wasn't brilliant.
I think the message is more important than the movie itself.
Well, that's why I said social commentary, you see. The acting by him was good. Other people, not so good. And there was interesting jumps of how certain things happened. But I don't think did I see the trailer? I don't think it gives anything away about who he is in the trailer. But he's quite wealthy. And that's why people now I've just realised it. That's why people keep saying he'd be the perfect Batman. And I've just realised, yes, he's got a bit of money. That's why they're referencing that. But I did see the 7-minute scene where he wipes out the whole family and all the rapists. That was just beautiful. That's I think it's about 3 or 4 action sequences in the film, but this is the big build-up one where a young girl had been raped and the lawyers and all that and the judges didn't do their job, and so he finds the people who did. Well, no, he goes up to her, knocks on the door. Dad answers it. It's such and such here. Yeah. What do you want? Right. And then he says a few things, and he goes, "Are you another one of these reporters?" And he goes, "No, I'm not." He says, "I just want to talk to your daughter." And he basically says to her, "Do you feel as though you got justice? Do you want revenge?" And she went, "Yes." And that was it. She wants the revenge, so off he went and did the revenge. And it was. Do you know what? I fucking laughed and laughed and laughed when he wiped the family out. Because this is why I honestly, as I said a minute ago, how did you get these people to play these characters? Because he says to the father of the family, so the mother's there, the daughter, the son, and the father, and he says, "So you think it's okay coming over here to the West and raping our children, blah blah blah?" And he goes, "Well, she was dressed like this," and I'm thinking, "Fucking hell."
Oh,
and he goes to the lad. He shoots the lad in the leg, and he says, "Get on the phone and ring up all your fucking fellow perverts and say you want to meet them over here." So as they all turn up like in dribs and drabs, he just executes them all.
Well, you know what the deal is with the director, right?
I'm aware of him.
Yeah, so the director is infamous. Like his movies are generally pretty bad. I mean, he made those Blood Rain movies, and
didn't he do the shot-for-shot remake of Psycho?
No, that was the other. I think that was the other guy. I think that was another infamous director. But he made House of the Dead. He did the 3 Blood Rain movies, and he's kind of like a modern day Ed Wood in a lot of ways. Those movies are cheap and slapdash, and
Yeah.
he did another one. I think it was called Postal, where the whole going postal thing was just like a killing spree. Postal worker goes on a killing spree, and then he pisses people off, and then he challenged some of his critics to a boxing match.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, so I mean, he was on Film Thread at the end, and by the they'll interview directors at the end of the live streams, and it went on and on and on because he was such a character, and everybody loved him, and they were kind of like, I might not actually like his movies that much, but he's a lot of fun. So they kind of had like a special place in their heart for this movie when it was, on its way to coming out. I think they even said, like, the review was, it's not a good movie, but it's not the movie, it's the message, kind of thing. So
I'm just looking at pictures of him, and I think he might be able to handle himself.
yeah, he kind of stopped making movies for a while and just went off and did something. I think he started opening restaurants or whatever. So hey, whatever. Yeah, so it's kind of a how can I say it? It's like a personality thing. It's not so much that he's a good director or a good filmmaker. It's just fun. So
yeah.
Anyway, the main thing is that they got an Army Hammer was canceled for something, so that's how they were able to get him in it. And
to uncancel himself.
What's that? Well,
so now he's uncancelled.
Well, if he wasn't canceled before, it sounds like he's definitely canceled now. So
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I know the place where it's banned, and the band is because they've not given it a rating, is Germany. So that's where all the banned stuff comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And because at the very beginning of the film, it has the old black background, white writing, basically saying, this shit's happening in Europe, this shit's happening over here, nobody cares, the government are allowing all this sort of stuff, right? That's the sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And then it gets to the action and all that. He meets 3 kids in a park who are bullying another one, and he knocks the 2 lads down, and he basically says, he meets them on a bus fest, and he says, like, they won't pay the fare, and there's all this hassle with the driver, and he steps in and pays the fare, but then he sits down with them and says, you better start behaving yourselves, because you'll never want to meet me again. And then later on in the film, he meets them in a park where they're doing some more crap, and he knocks the 2 lads out. And I think there's another meeting with them as well, but I was expecting him to kill them, but he didn't. But there's one other big scene where the police are onto him. Well, this detective is onto him, and all the SWAT team turn up at this house, this sort of like expensive house in the middle of it's all these levels, and they all come up, all following each other. Nobody's gone to the back door or other doors. They've all gone up the same way, and I'm thinking, this is going to be interesting, because as they're doing all this, you see Army loading 2 AK-47s, and he's in like a steel box with slits at the front where he can open and shut, and he can fire the guns. And I'm going, is he really there, or is he somewhere else? So this is going to be one of those false leads where they smash the door and there's nobody there. But no, he is there. Oh, God. And the violence on the human body was glorious. I was sat there laughing and laughing and laughing. People's heads exploding. Because the range he was like 10 foot away from them. So they come into the room. There's about 8 SWAT members there. And he gets told, like, you want to fucking surrender? We got you now. And he goes, oh, basically, fuck off. They open fire. Not yet again, they don't aim for the slits. They just aim for the whole metal sheet. And then he opens fire, and legs get blown off. Arms go, hands go. The face one was the best one. I fucking loved it. I watched that many a time. Then another load of SWAT people come in. They all get mown down. Then another load of and the detectives out in the corridor, just sending them all in to get massacred. But he escapes from that. But his gist is he runs businesses, housing businesses, and he's quite ruthless in that because he gets told, "Oh, we've got," because he goes back to his business place and there's got like all these middle managers there. They didn't expect him, and he goes, "Well, the whole idea of me popping in now is like to catch things that are going wrong. All right."
Mm-hmm.
And they said, like 90% of the business is doing good. But this bit, we've got 10% of people who not paid up on their stuff, their house and rent and all this sort of shit. And he goes, "Well, what I want you to do is tell them to pay up, otherwise I'll send some people round." And the bloke goes, "Well, if we do it this way," and he goes, No. Basically, tell them to pay up. They haven't got any time, or they're out, or I'll send people around." And I'm just like, oh, so even in his business world, he's a bit of a bastard. But I've got to laugh at the like I say, the killing, because when people are all screaming and all this are going, "Oh, this is unfair. Oh, you shouldn't be showing things like this." Why? You show other things that are horrendous. You know what I mean? You show we've watched. I didn't watch it because it's not for me. But they'll show some fucking serial killer. They'll do not a documentary, a drama on it, like fucking 2 years after it's all over the news. You know what I mean? We've had fucking people portraying fucking Jimmy Savile when it's still fresh in people's minds. But we've had other stuff that's like, I'm not kidding you, like 2 years old, and they've had people portraying the character. Hugh Edwards, he was portrayed in a drama not long ago. So when people go on about stuff, I think, no, nothing is off the fucking table as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Because when I watch anything that the missus is watching, every person who's ex-squaddy is a lunatic in every show she watches. Normally fucking blowing stuff up and killing people. I've never seen one of their programs where the squaddy's normal. You know what I mean? So if I can handle that, surely all these rapists and perverts can handle their life being portrayed on TV in a film or something, can't they?
Yeah.
But,
it was number one on Amazon, the movie. I know that Elon let it put it on X free for like 24 hours or something.
Yes, he did, because I had to get it quickly because I had like 12 hours left.
Yeah, and I know it's number one on Amazon.
What I like is people whinging about it who've never even seen it. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, at least I fucking watched it, and I'll explain why I won't watch other things. You know what I mean? I've always mentioned on the news, if something comes up about children being abused, it's too much for me, and I'll just fucking turn the news over and watch something else, because I don't need to know the details about what they did. I don't need that in my head, but I'll quite happily execute a person who does that. You know what I mean? People go, "Oh, if you're prepared to hang the person, I don't need to hang them. I could do the worst thing possible, and I wouldn't think twice about it. If you were a state executioner, you know what I mean? I should go and get a job in Saudi, shouldn't I?" But yeah, it makes me laugh when people go on and on, because look, these things are happening. Somebody's done a film about it. You don't like it because he's bringing it to the world. You know what I mean? We all know what goes on in Denmark and Sweden and all that, but you're all trying to be quiet about it. We all know. I think is it Sweden? It's one of the Scandinavians or the lower Scandinavian countries that are trying to ban the call to prayer and all that sort of stuff. But you don't want to see that on the news. You have to look at it. You have to look at it on that Nazi's place. You have to look on Elon's X to see things like that, because the main news tries to cover everything up and hide it all. Oh my God, Rossy, I've gone down your rabbit hole. But the thing is, these are all facts. Because it's there.
That's what most of the conspiracy theorists have been saying for the last few years, where it's like, a lot of what was said 5-6 years ago is now so mainstream that they're just openly saying. Some of it's like, it's not even just like X. Remember, it was kind of like you had the stepping stones where like maybe someone will say it on X, and then Russell Brand will talk about it, and then kind of it'll sort of scrape the bottom of the regular news. If it gets anywhere near CNN, then it's like, oh my God, it's the. I don't know if the recent Fauci trials got to CNN, but it's. But then some of that stuff though, it gets talked about for a day, and it's kind of like, okay, we said it, bye, we're done. We don't have to say that again ever. So
yeah, it's like I said earlier, the death of proper investigative journalism, and the problem is when all this does get found out, because we know the Labour Party are full of paedophiles, right? They were all with the paedophile information exchange. They were some of their biggest hitters were part of that group. They believe that paedophiles. What's that terminology now? Minor attracted people. So they changed the terminology because they don't want to be known as a paedophile. Well, the thing is, we know you are, most of us. Because if you don't want to investigate paedophile rings, why?
Well, they're also trying to.
Hang on, Mr. Ross. Let me just get this bit, Mr. Ross. Let me get this bit, Mr. Ross. Let me get this bit because you can have people whinging. Now, it doesn't have to be because you get all this whataboutery. Why do people just go on about bloody the Muslim paedophiles, blah blah blah? And I'm like, well, the reason they're going about that is per ratio to people, they're right up there. It's excessive. But I'm quite happy for all these Brits, all these English paedophiles and Welsh and Scottish and Northern Irish, all them to be bloody jailed as well. I'm an equal anti-paedophile person. But when you say we shouldn't do this because of that, you're hiding stuff with your whataboutery, which means you're part of the problem. Are you a paedophile as well? So anybody who says stuff on Facebook and I see it, I mark them down as a potential paedophile because they don't want anything to be discovered because they're probably one of them. So there you go, Mr. Ross.
All right. I have nothing to add.
Excellent. Oh, news in. We just had news in. Another death.
Oh,
what?
Yes. It's the death of Scottish football. They're coming home. They're coming home.
Well,
they
that's
only
an England. That's
scored
an England
one
song.
goal.
Well, that's an England thing because Scotland always knew they were coming home, anyways.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping we get knocked out next because then it'll be over and done with.
Who are you playing in the knockouts?
Oh, we're playing Dr. Congo.
Oh, you're fine.
No, we want Dr. Congo to win. So we can all drink Mbongo.
Mbongo from the Congo.
That's right. If you Americans don't have that on your TV advertising it in all the slots that you're doing for the adverts now, I'll be disgusted. Mbongo, this is marketing heaven.
I tell you what, England have a good chance of getting to the quarterfinals.
No, let's hope not.
Because if you beat Congo, right, you could come up against Mexico, Ecuador, and I think you'll beat them too.
No. Look, they couldn't even beat Panama. The mighty Panama. Or did we beat them? I can't remember. What the fuck did we draw 0-0 with?
Ghana,
the mighty Ghana. We couldn't even fucking beat them.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I still think you'll go far.
Let's hope not. Let's look forward to the Rugby World Cup instead.
Rugby World Cup that only has like 6 nations or something.
Hang on. Now, I'm glad you've mentioned that because this fucking World Cup has got more than a quarter of the world's football teams in this fucking stage.
That's because it's called the World Cup.
No, you do all your pre-stuff. These matches are all shit.
It's not called. No, there's only been 2 bad games of all the games.
Have you watched them all?
Yes.
Hang on, there was 2 on at the same time the other night because I saw it on the TV guide. How did you watch 2 at the same time?
I don't watch all the knockout ones. I just watch the ones that I think would be the most fun. But I watched all the group ones. I watched all the group games.
God. So how you do? So where do you watch? Do you watch them on the big telly or do you watch them on another screen in your office?
I watch them on the big telly, and you know what? I'll be fair with you. I did watch 2 games at the same time because I'm able to do split screen.
Yeah, I bet it's confused Rossy.
Well, what was confusing was it was the both teams. One was wearing white, one was red, and the other team, one was wearing white, the other team was wearing red.
Excellent.
So I think it was the Iran Egypt game, and then there was another game at the same time.
Was that the
Austria.
LGBT game?
LGBT. You know, I didn't see any flags. I was hoping they'd have a corner flag with the LGBT flag on it.
Oh, that would have been funny.
But they didn't. I wonder if they did it all outside of the stadium and not on the inside. Because who in the right mind, even if you're a far left nut job, there's no way you're gonna go marching in amongst a bunch of nations like that wearing an LGBT hat or scarf or anything like that. You get the crap kicked out of you.
Yeah, I have seen a fight back from the LGB side of the flag saying, look, we don't want all these other people with us because this is our flag. We earned this flag in the fucking 60s and 70s and 80s. We fucking, this is it. They've hijacked it, and then that we all now get classed the same as them lot. And you can understand it, you know what I mean? Because
that's true. That's very true.
It's quite sad because they've done all the hard work and other people are ruining it for them. But that's life.
Yeah. When does the Rugby World Cup start?
I think it's next year. I can't remember. It's fucking yeah. Unless it's the end of the. I don't even know whether are we. Is it fucking in the UK? I can't even fucking remember. Honestly, let's have a look. I'll get rid of UE Ball because that's why I looked at the images.
Yeah, you know they're going to make a sequel to that movie.
I hope so.
Oh, they'll probably make a franchise out of it.
Rugby World Cup 2027.
Well, if it's top of the Amazon list, you know it's popular that people want to see it.
Yeah,
and
here we are.
It cost that much either, so
no.
So the Rugby World Cup, 1st of October to the 13th of November, 2027. Fuck me, 6 weeks plus. View match schedule, 458 days. Let's have a look. Where am I at? Oh, we'll have come back from America then.
Many nations are taking part in it.
Let's have a look. Oh my God. So, well, there's more than I expect because I've just seen some of the names. So you've got Australia, Hong Kong, Wales, Zimbabwe, New Zealand, Chile, France, USA, England, Tonga, Japan, Samoa, South Africa, Italy, Scotland, Uruguay, Georgia, I think that must be Romania, Fiji, Spain, Ireland, Portugal, Argentina, Canada, Wales, Tonga. Yeah, so it was probably about 16 teams. Zimbabwe were a new one.
Yeah, I've never heard them in the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, and you've got one of them at Pool A.
You must be trying to compete with the FIFA thing by expanding the competition.
Yeah, but the problem is it's so physical that you can't be doing. You'd have to have a massive team, you know what I mean, to be able to get through without too many injuries to your main players. China, I think that's China. Is that their flag? No, it's Chile. Yeah, it's just in the first three letters of all the fucking teams. So some of them are like, oh, hang on. Yeah, so where's it all at? Newcastle.
You're gonna be happy as a pig in shite when that starts.
Well, it's got the timings as well for the matches. 11:15 our time, 4:15. Let's have a look at the England match. England Tonga, 11:15 our time. That's on a.
Well, they're holding it in the UK now, aren't they?
No, it's in Brisbane. It's in Australia. Brisbane.
Oh wow. Newcastle
Stadium, Adelaide, Melbourne, Townsville. So it'll be just like with the football. I mean, that's my favourite bit of the Football World Cup is actually watching all the fans over in America and seeing if they've got their wives.
Seeing through all the lies.
If they've got their wives with them. And I'm just thinking, how the fuck have you got this money to stay out here this long? Let's say England got the final. You're out there for like 6, 7, 8 weeks because you'll probably be out there a couple of at least 4 or 5 days before the first match to acclimatise a bit and to get drinking, which the news has mentioned all the time. The American news over here saying the Scottish and the English have drank the places dry when they've turned up.
Well, it's the Scottish over here.
No, it was the English as well. That we were on about the English. The English went to Boston after the Scottish were there.
Oh,
and they said
well, there was no beer left over after the Scottish was there.
Yeah, well, they prepped a lot more because the bloke went to one of the pubs and he went, "Oh yeah, I bought in 4 times the amount I had because I know this is going to be drunk.
Yeah, it's you know what? They probably made more money than they would on Paddy's Day.
They said that. They said that.
Yeah.
He said, I've never seen it. I've never seen it before like this. The amount of alcohol they consumed, and I'm just like, oh, they've done us proud, haven't they?
Well, what else has Scotland got to live for?
That's it.
I mean, the thing is, you knew they were going home early.
Oh yeah, but they've had a good time out there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they've had
That's
a
what
brilliant
matters.
time, and it's all the experience. I've liked it when there's been like a family. They've got a couple of little kids with them, and it's just been a bit of the luck of the draw. They would planned a holiday then, and they just thought, let's even get tickets, and they were in that area, so they're not exactly following the team. You know what I mean? They were lucky enough, and it's just nice because they've got the kids there, and they've said like, this is something that my children are going to remember for the rest of their lives, sort of thing, which is lovely. But I do love it when the wives aren't with them, and I'm just thinking, yeah, let's hear how you explain this on the news.
It's like, have you seen the Laurel and Hardy movie Sons of the Desert?
Yes.
So have you seen that, Rossy?
Yep.
It's when they fake that they're ill. So they every year they have the Sons of the Desert convention. They go marching, and they wanted to go, but the wives didn't want them to go. So they fake that they're ill, and they have to go to Hawaii to get some, rest and whatever. So they fake the whole doctor's thing, and they end up going to the convention in New York, the Sons of the Desert instead. And so the wives decided, oh, let's go to the movies and then, take a break while the lads are away. and then the way they used to show the old movie tone, the news.
Yeah.
They show the march in New York. And here comes the Sons of the Desert, and there's Ollie and Stan waving to everybody in the crowd. They'll be like the English guys.
Yeah.
Say, oh, we're going here, and then you see like their wives back home or whatever see them on TV.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you guys doing over there doing this stuff?
They said they were going to fucking Prague for a fucking stag do.
I can imagine. It'd be really funny. I am enjoying all the videos of on Twitter of X of people from all other countries going and see bookies.
Oh yeah.
Bucky, yeah.
I mean,
sounds like you said bookies. It's like, what are they doing? Playing the ponies or something like that?
Yeah, bookies.
Well, dear listeners, there was a thing on the news about it over here, and when they said it was a new one, and it made the main news, and it was in Phoenix, and when they said the location, I went. Well, they said it was Goodyear on the news, and I went
Goodyear, yeah.
So I went, hang on a second, that's fucking where I went to the fucking Worn Star shop, the clothing shop, the rock and roll shop, and I'm like, fuck me, it's right near Flint. In American terms, it's right near you. And then
it was a good 25 minutes away from where I live.
Now people will be going 25 minutes. That's not right next to. Look, when Flint took us for breakfast once, it was about fucking 40 minutes away.
Well, the thing is, over here you don't see distances like that as a big deal because it's just a straight drive. You know what I mean?
That's
It's not like it's all built up like some of the cities in UK are, where you have all the windy roads and one-way streets and blah blah blah. Like from me to drive from here to Bookies, it's just basically a straight run down the freeway.
Yeah. And that German waitress who sold us the breakfast. Yes, we have a maze of making you talk.
And I had to tell John and Cass, don't mention the war. I said it in front of her too.
I know. And
you would.
So we watched that on the news.
She laughed. She did laugh though.
So we mentioned that on the news, and we went, "What the fuck is this thing?" And so we asked Flint, and Flint did his reporting and went there on Friday and had a look at the brand new location. And the boss of the company said he wants to open some more in Arizona.
He'll probably open them up on the East Valley.
Yeah,
around by like we live in the West Valley, so you'll probably open them up in the East Valley. But I tell you what, John, I'll get a better report later because the place was so packed. I mean, and it's a glorified gas station, like Rossy said. It's like a Walmart and a gas station, and I think everything had the Bookies logo on it. I mean, if I walked in there at Rossy, they'd probably stomp his head with the Bookies logo. So you can buy Mr. Ross for $2 or something.
Oh,
but it's
man, I'd give him $25 to let me wear the beaver costume for an hour.
Oh,
Yeah, they had a guy in a beaver costume, and then you could buy
a
a bookie.
beaver.
Yeah, and then you could buy a bookie's onesie. That's
Oh,
in a
for your baby.
that's the no for adults. That's a beaver,
Oh wow!
and they're not for babies; they're for adults.
So their brisket and the beef jerky is kind of like what their best. Oh, and the Bucky's nuts. They're literally
Yeah, the
called
nuggets.
Bucky's nuts. Bucky's nuggets. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a bag of the nuggets. But here's the thing: when we went down there, the cops had cordoned off the whole area because there must have been massive crowds. Right, we went on Friday around 10 o'clock in the morning, so there were still crowds, but it wasn't as packed as we've seen it at other times. But the cordon off for the to get the bookies, the cordon was like 6 miles long.
yeah.
You have to drive all the way past bookies, like 3 miles, and then or 4 miles, and then there's a turn. You go to the baseball stadium, and you come all the way back up the other side because there was that many cars. They had to cordon off whole streets for it, like for the
Yeah.
opening of a gas station.
Now, I've opened up Google Maps and I put bookies in. Right, it hasn't got yours yet, but it's only got 6 other ones. One above Denver, 4 in Texas, and 1 in South Carolina. Surely there must be more than that.
Well, I don't know. But they really are a tourist trap, number one.
Oh, yeah.
And built specifically for people like where they built the one in Glendale. Marnie said that you'd get a lot of people that are coming from California that will go through that area.
Yeah.
Right, and they do have 120 pumps, gas pumps. I didn't take a picture of that, but I will next time. What struck me about it was I think anybody who opens up a gas station around there is doomed. Number one, I think any gas station that was there before, and then when bookies came there, they're going to be out of business. Number one, but I do think that bookies has revolutionized gas stations, and I'll tell you why. When you go on the bookies, they have their own deli and everything else, and you'll see guys actually cooking food and preparing sandwiches and stuff. Like you will see that, and even in one of the photos I think I sent you, you can see them making the hot almonds and stuff like that to put in
Yeah.
the packets. So they do have like a not a restaurant, but people making food directly for you in there. Like it's not as if it's
Yeah.
packaged sandwiches and stuck on the shelf. I mean, they're actually preparing food for you. And when we came back from Utah, we stopped in this small gas station and it was fairly new. It must have been up there for the last year or so. And we went in there and they had a similar thing. And I think that they were inspired by bookies because no gas stations really do that. If you go into any average gas station here in the US, it's just like a 7-Eleven or anything. You just go in,
Yeah.
buy your prepackaged stuff out the door. But a lot of places now, any of the new gas stations are being built. They do have like a food area where they have staff that are making sandwiches or making food for you, pizza, whatever, that they're actually making it for you. It's like fresh ingredients, whatever else, so you can take it on the go. And that's the thing with bookies. You go in there, and they're famous for their sandwiches as well.
Yeah. Well, I've just
And
went
the
on their
burritos,
official.
Rossy.
Well, I've just
Oh,
been
I
on their
know. And
official site, and it gives your place the 1001 North Bullard Avenue is their 72nd bookies.
Yeah,
So there
Because
must
all
be
the
70 of them somewhere else.
Yeah,
we
because it's
don't-
got
we
them.
don't
It's got
even-
them. Hashtag 57 Athens. Hashtag 43 Leeds. Hashtag 60 Johnstown. So it's all here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we
don't
bought
have
a
any
couple of
them
bookies
out here.
T-shirts as well. We bought T-shirts, bookie T-shirts.
Well,
They don't
and
have them in
that's-
California yet, do they?
No, I
And
couldn't see anything.
when I went to visit Ben, that's how in Texas. That's how I specifically asked him, like, hey, can we go to a Bucky's? Because my boss is from Texas, Oklahoma, and she says you got to go to Bucky's and check out the bathroom because it's huge and it's immaculate. And our bathrooms, it's a small bathroom in a bookstore with 3 stalls and 2 urinals, and still we get like graffitied all over it and paper towels and crap all over the floor and stuff like that. And
Unlike
you go to
Bucky's, which has the
Buc-ee's-
cleanest restrooms in America.
Bucky's is like bigger than their bathrooms, like bigger than my house, and it's like absolutely immaculate.
There's also
So-
probably a reason why they don't set up in California because the minute they do, it'll turn into potato land.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? It's got 2 world records, Bookies, right?
Yeah.
It has the world's largest convenience store. The Lulling store has 75,593 square feet. And then this is the best one. It has the world's longest car wash. It clocks in at 255 feet of conveyor. Where's that at? View on map. Come on, bring it up. Bookies, convenience, see what comes. Oh my God, yeah, there's the map. Where's this area? Texas. Just to the
in Texas,
west of,
everything is bigger.
yeah, just to the west of Houston it is, and it's just off the motorway. And when you sort of zoom in, you can see the fucking car wash. It's fucking twice as long as the actual store.
Yep.
So that was really fun watching all the tourists or their football fans going in and seeing all that stuff. But we did buy 2 Bookies t-shirts.
Oh,
Is
and
he
that's
on
the
the
other
front?
thing. Anything that they can put that logo
Label on the little beaver.
Yeah, there. Well, I don't know what the layout. It looks like the layout to yours is similar to the one I went to, where it's kind of like there's the big food area, and then there's like this wall of different.
The wall of jerky. Yeah, here's funny about that. Funny about that. The wall of jerky. The first wall we saw was half empty, right? But they have another wall down the end of the store as well, and that was completely full. But they were selling out of everything. I mean, the amount of people there was unbelievable. The line for the food, it's for the sandwiches. I mean, that went down to the end of the store and back around again. I mean, it's just the place was packed, even though it was like 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well, and then there's like the 1/3 of this place that isn't food, it's just gifts and
t-shirts and knickknacks and Southwest stuff.
Your store's full of a big wall of food, because when we went to that, obviously it's obviously going to be a wall of pistachio, but when we went to Pistachio World, I fucking loved that wall of flavors that I would eat, then the hot flavors. It was fucking ginormous. You know what I mean?
Well, when you come over again, John, when you do your Route 66, you have to go to a Bookies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look and see if there's one near the actual route.
I'm sure there is.
Well, that's what I loved about the World Cup is the fans coming over and seeing stuff that they don't have in the UK or Europe.
Mm-hmm. They just hear bad things about us, and it's kind of like,
oh, it's Trump's World Cup. How dare you? They're not letting in brown people. And then you see the stadiums full of brown people.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that made me laugh when we were out there last year and people go, oh, did you not think this, that, and the other? And I'm like, look, what you see on the TV is different to what happens in real life. I say, because we didn't see have any conversation with anybody we met about politics, apart from used to. But every person you met, there was not even a hint of anything. It was just like, oh, you're over here doing this. Oh, you're doing that. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You should see this. Oh, this is brilliant. And all this. It was just fucking lovely. I wouldn't have a clue what their political leanings were, and they didn't know what mine were. And people just want to get on, but the internet and the news are not the fucking bellwether to show what's fucking going on. They just fucking make shit up just to fucking sell. Fucking pathetic.
Well, when I first came to the States, my dad said to me to be careful because everybody carries a gun. And that's not true. That's like telling American tourists be careful when you go to Ireland. You have to wear special shoes because you might slip on the cobblestones.
Do you know? I thought you were going to say everyone carries a potato.
So if they do that, shh, that's a secret. Not many people know that. You carry a potato for every occasion.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they have chives. Sometimes they got the cheese and bacon. So
yes,
I'll bet you can get all of those potatoes over at Potato. I heard somebody.
Are you one of those guys when you hear a Spanish name, you have to roll your R's to say their name properly?
Oh my God, that's the thing. Is like almost required now. Like on the news, like even the white reporters have to say Garcia.
But when it's an Irish name like Paddy O'Toole, they go, and we talked to Paddy O'Toole today down at the.
I heard someone got in trouble at not my job work, but at their work for saying potato. You know, like the stereotypical St. Patrick's
It
Day
was you,
version of
Rossy,
it.
wasn't it?
Well, we've got an Irish lady working there, and of course I said, well, she brought it on herself because she put a
Did
basket.
she now?
She did, because she put a basket of those potatoes
The crisps.
in the break room for St. Patrick's Day. And I said, "Oh, can I have a potato?" And she said,
Fuck
Oh
"To be
yeah.
sure,
my
to be sure."
God!
God.
Was she really from Ireland, Rossy?
Yes,
What part?
yes.
Did she-
She's got the she's ginger and she's got the accent. I mean, what more do you need?
Well,
Did,
she could be faking it because it's
That's
California,
right.
all full
I
of
mean,
nut jobs.
she's
What
she
part
could
of
be
Ireland is she
Scottish.
from, Rossy?
You know, I never no, she's not Scottish. Um I don't know
You
if
don't
we
know
ever
what part of
talked
Ireland
about
she's
that.
from.
No,
Did you mention Mrs. Brown's boys to her?
I think she might have come over before that was the thing.
2 degrees of separation you could have done with her.
Yeah, I'll ask her. I mean, I will ask her. She doesn't really work.
Work?
got it-
You
she's
don't
like you,
either. I
Rossy.
don't know what you're about.
She's
No,
like
she-
Rossy. She doesn't really work.
Well,
That's
no,
exactly.
her office is in the adjacent building, so she only
Adjacent
comes through,
building.
walks through, and checks in on things. But yeah, but when she does, we kind of chit chat a little bit. She's really funny. So anyway,
Is there a chance, Rossy? How old is she?
she's about my age, but there's
There
there's
you
no
go.
chance because of the industry I work in. It's 50-50 whether she's going to be more interested in the ladies than me.
Well, she's got no soul, anyways, right, Rossy, because she's ginger.
Exactly. So
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what movies or TV have you seen, Rossy?
Oh well. Let's see. So nothing that mainstream. Did I mention the Machisti versus Zorro movie last time?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. So
In the chat, you did.
yes. So I after that Hercules movie, I'm like all in. So Kino Lorber is having a big summer sale, and they've got 3 of those Italian Hercules movies. One of them directed by Mario Bava, who did Danger Diabolik and Planet of the Vampires. So that's going to have a real stylish look to it. So I was like, okay, having that one. And they always do the best job of preserving and restoring older movies. So they had 2 others I'd never heard of. I didn't even know who there was like Colossus versus something. And so I was like, I don't know who the stars were. I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's Kino Lorber's going to be one of the better looking ones. And then I went downstairs to the old DVD racks, and I suddenly remember, I said, you know what? I went on that spree a few months ago where I
Killing
got those,
spree.
killing spree to my wallet. I was like, hey, you know, there's I was thinking, you know, remember Flint, you could go to a Walmart and they'd have all those like 10 movies for $10
Oh yeah.
sets and all that.
Now what you do is you go to the dollar store, or Dollar General. They have them.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't seen like Target, Walmart, none of those places. It used to have them all over the place.
Yeah, they have them in dollar stores now.
Okay, so they barely have them in DVD. They barely have them in places that all those places barely have any DVDs. Period. Much less the
Right.
dollar ones. It's just Disney stuff for the most part. So I thought, you know what? There's going to come a time when nobody's going to have these anywhere, and they might actually go up in price a little bit. And so I thought maybe I should kind of get the ones I want. So I looked at the ones that I had, and they all, at the time I wasn't that interested in them, and like they all had like at least 10 or 20 of them in there. So I was like, okay, so I'm mostly good. I shouldn't go too crazy. But on YouTube, but these are notorious for also having the crappiest copies. Like a lot of them are off of VHS tapes and whatnot. So I was like, they're not great movies to begin with, but I'd still like to see them the best way possible. So on YouTube, there was one channel that's apparently like their whole thing is preserving Italian films. So if you don't mind watching them with the auto-generated subtitles, you can see them like in their original Italian, beautiful prints, letterbox, the way they were meant to be seen. And one of them was I think it was Maciste versus it was either Zorro versus Maciste or Maciste versus Zorro. They didn't call him Zorro when they released it in the States. They called him El Toro. But
wouldn't that be the bull?
Yes. Well, Zorro's the fox, so but potato, tomato. So the thing about the Maciste movies is like they're kind of insane. Some of them are kind of insane. So the one that I told you about the one where he goes into the underworld and it starts off with like a witch trial and all this kind of thing. Okay, so the first one of the first Maciste movies. So I've got a friend in Italy who has kind of hooked me up with some of this Italian stuff. And when I was working on Zan of the Jungle for Jungle Comics, I said, there's no origin story. It's just like this blonde guy. So he's just like Tarzan, except he's blonde, but he lives in the jungle. He's just there. And I said, is there like an origin story that I missed? He goes, no. He says Italians don't really care about the origin story. It's just like it's accepted, like he's a cowboy or he lives in the jungle or whatever. So I was like, all right, I can dig it. So going back to Maciste in the underworld, the movie looks like it looks like a Hammer movie. It takes place in I think it's Scotland in the 14th century. It has Hammer movie production.
No different to now.
They they burn. Hey Pete. So they're burning a lady at the stake, and she's a witch, and she casts a curse, and then they fast forward a couple hundred years, and it's still like to us way in the past. This couple gets married. They go to this woman's family castle. She's a descendant of the witch, apparently. The townspeople freak out that there's a light out in the castle over at the Frankenstein place. There you go, John.
Nice.
They come after him with pitchforks and torches, and they're gonna hang her. And and then this guy rides through the town, through the village, and he's bare-chested, muscular. He's just wearing a loincloth and boots. Frees her. Rips a tree out by rips the hanging tree out by its roots and goes to hell. And then there's like this Dante's Inferno, who's the Salvador Dali type of vision of hell that was actually filmed in these caves in Italy, and all these people being tortured and they're miserable, and he's like walking around down there and he's looking for the actual witch, and that's most of the movie. And he fights the things that he finds down there, and there's like a Prometheus type character whose liver is being eaten by a vulture, so he fights the fake vulture, and he gets like trapped in this thing, so he has to bend the bars. A lot of these movies, they'll spend like 2 or 3 minutes of him just trying to bend bars or lift a rock. Or
were you excited to see the movie?
It was kind of boring, but I enjoyed it.
Did you get so amped up after that you ripped off your clothes to your underwear and then went out and challenged your neighbor to a sword fight?
Yes.
What sword?
Did you see those swords that I've got, the Spanish swords I've got in the bonus room, John?
Yes.
Did I show those to you? Yeah, okay. So I do have, I could do it, Flint. I could totally do it. So
there you go.
my grandpa like,
you'd be like drink your can of Bang. It'd be like Popeye spinach.
Yeah, exactly. It just like makes me insane, and then start like picking fights with all the Asian neighbors. So
in your underwear with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Just sword hanging out.
Take a couple of placemats and put them on the front and back, and hold them on my waist with a belt, and just go out there. So, but
you would do as a little kid after seeing a great movie like that. You come out all excited.
Oh yeah, well I could totally say that's part of why I love these movies, because I was like, for whatever reason, they were a blind spot on my childhood. Had I seen them when I was a kid, I would have done exactly that, at age whatever. So I'm enjoying, like, 10-year-old, 7 to 10-year-old me is going like, this is the greatest shit ever. He's fighting a lion that is alternatively a stuffed toy and a narked up old toothless, clawless lion. So there was one scene though where he loses his memory, and so I think it was the Prometheus type character tells him, look in the pool and remember. So they pad the movie out by showing like footage from like 3 other Machiste movies, but at least two of them, it's not even the same actor. It's like some other guy, but there's like a chariot chase and a uh, I don't even remember who else he was fighting. It just became a blur. So anyway, that movie, as good as I'm making it sound, it is actually I was actually kind of bored. Um, but then there'd be like spikes in the middle. I was like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool. So overall, my rating of it is pretty cool, but I wouldn't start that as your first Machiste movie. The other Machiste movie was this King Die. It takes place in, I don't know my geography. I don't know if Nogara is Spain or Italy. Apparently it's an island country. The king dies, and he's got these two 20-something-year-old daughters. There's a blonde one who's the good one, and there's a brunette one who's the bad one. And the blonde one has a boyfriend who's a poet, and he's unworthy of her because he's not in her class, and blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of like star-crossed lovers. And then the brunette one has this scheming guy who apparently just wants to marry her so he can eventually become the king. And then Zorro shows up. Zorro shows up.
You're far away from Mexico there, Zorro.
California. Well, I mean, he could be in Spain. It could be Spain. Zorro is originally from Spain. So Zorro shows up and he does some wrong writing or righting of wrongs, and they have to protect. So they're going to transport the king's will from point A to point B. And then there's bandits and soldiers who are going to try to intercept it and protect it. And then they go to the town square, the village square, and Machiste is there, and he's breaking chains for the entertainment of the people. And then like they throw money at him, and this guy collects the money and gives them to a little girl so she can pay for her medical treatments. So Machiste is a good guy doing good for this little girl, and then the evil queen hires him to steal the scroll. She tells him a lie and he believes it, and so Machiste and Zorro work against each other for 3/4 of the movie until they realize, oh no, Machiste realized he's been working for the wrong team, so they team up, and you get this gladiator from however many hundreds of years before this period of sort of like Regency Spain or whatever the king and queen era of Spain or Italy is, where they're wearing the Elizabethan type collars and those kind of gowns and all. So anyway, it's like a bunch of shit just thrown into the pot. And that one was my favorite of the two. That also had sort of the Hammer look, you could tell it's not the world's greatest set, but they make the most out of it type of thing. Great costumes. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. And okay, spoiler. That poet that was beneath the station of the blonde queen.
Turns out he's royalty too.
Guess who he is? Not just royalty, but superhero royalty.
Oh wow!
He's Zorro.
Zorro.
And she was kind of hot for Zorro. I mean, she was like, "Hey, Zorro," but she also, like, Zorro put the move to test her. Zorro puts the moves on her. She goes, "I can't. I've already got a boyfriend." And so he's like, all right, you're loyal to your boyfriend. Well, guess what? So I was like, yes. So that was a lot of fun too. And then the third one of those, so there's two more. One I can just talk about quickly. One was called, oh God, Love Captives of the Amazons. Now,
that's your wish fulfillment right there, Rossy.
Well, so before
Definitely
you get
mine.
I knew that I couldn't get the title out without.
What was the title again, Rossy?
Love Captives of the Amazons. So that's an older
Son.
movie. The fellow
Love
who directed,
Captives.
writer-director of Love Captives of the Amazons was the guy who made The Wolfman and a few other classic-y Universal movies. And he went to
was it released in the US as Love Slaves?
Love Slaves. Yes, I'm sorry.
You twat. Yeah. Oh my God, you can watch it for free.
That's the thing. So these are all my free on Amazon, not even on Amazon, free on YouTube movies. So I just put them on the big TV and watch them. I don't even have to buy a DVD. And the picture. So this one was directed by, like I said, the guy who directed The Wolfman and a few other classic-ish Universal movies. And he went to Brazil to make another monster movie and had like 10,000 feet of film left over that he couldn't export out of the country. So he just made another movie, and this was it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not very good. The title and the movie poster promise a lot more than the movie delivers. But you do get
bastard.
you do get the the Lost Tribe of Women. And the tone just like whiplashes, because it's like there's a scene where they have to give
Oh my God.
The main explorer has to take a bath.
What's John looking at?
I'm at 40 minutes in on YouTube.
It takes a while to get there.
They're not black-faced, they're green-faced.
Yes, they put on green. They put on green paint. That's not their natural. That's just their war paint.
Well, that's where they've just arrived, you see. So I'm moving through to see how much sexual bits we can see.
Not a lot. So only one guy makes it to the tribe of the Amazons, and so there's a scene where all these like matron.
They're washing him.
Yeah, these matron-like women are giving him a bath, and then the sexy starlet Amazons are standing around laughing at him, and so there's another guy there who's been there a while, and he looks pretty old, but he says, well, I'm only like in my 30s, but they're having my kids. And then they show these little girls with a few of the Amazons, and it's like, yeah, those are the survivors, the boys they killed. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And he says, and they're probably going to replace me with you. And there's this one bit
Death
where
by Snoo.
Yeah, and they show the Amazons doing target practice with the spear, and then later when the guy's escaping, this giant target that they were chucking spears at falls over, and the other guy was like pinned he's tied to a post behind that target with spear holes all over him, and it's like, holy shit. So, but there's other scenes where the main guy is making all these like goofy facial expressions while he was watching them the Amazons do their obligatory dance number.
I'm watching that now.
Yeah, so they've
all got different coloured outfits on, the same sort of tiny dress, but each one's different colour.
Right, because it was two. It's like we make one pattern and the cheapest one piece you can get away with, and that's it. So it's, you get, it kind of delivers what it promises. It was entertaining-ish for a movie that they just threw together to burn off the film stock they had. It was fine. I don't know if I would recommend it. The title's better than the movie itself.
Oh yeah.
And then the last one. I don't want to go on about it too long because I know I tend to do it, but so there was a movie. So I have a facsimile of an old book called Queen of Atlantis. I think it's called Queen of Atlantis. It's by a French guy. So I knew I had this book. I just haven't had a chance to read it. So I don't know if you remember, I was talking about Cobra Woman a few months ago with Maria Montez, and I was like, this is Pulp, the movie. Every pulp trope you can imagine is like packed into this one movie. And Maria Montez, she's really pretty and she's a lot of fun and she hams it up. And I was all in for that movie. So she's in this Atlantis movie, and I'm like, cool. I got to check
What's
it
it
out. This
called?
one's,
Queen of Atlantis.
so it's either called Sirens of Atlantis, Atlantis, the Lost Continent, and I think there was a third title for it. But again, free on YouTube, black and white. How can you go wrong? And it's a Universal movie, so it's a cut above. So part of the way into, like, at the first commercial break, I'm like, what is this? Because it's weird. I don't want to. I want to give away too much. Well, I don't want to talk about too much about the plot. Too much,
Is that the one where they have the huge magnifying glass?
no,
Oh god.
no. So
I'm trying to think of who directed this one.
I think the huge magnifying glass one was the George
George Powell.
lens.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
So
the George Powell one.
yeah. So that one has a lot of the stuff you want from an Atlantis movie. It has the volcano. It has the sinking. It has ships and submarines and palaces and big sets and costumes and stock footage from another movie which is probably a volcano movie eruption thing. This one doesn't have any of that stuff. Now, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and apparently that this novel by this French dude had been filmed at least 2 or 3 times prior to this movie. There was a silent one that's almost 3 hours long, if you can believe it, which was like unprecedented at the time that it was made. And then there was a French, German, and English version of basically the same thing with the same queen, same actress playing the queen. And then this one came along, and they made one version of it. It wasn't, the test screenings didn't go well, so they came back and reshot. It sounds like a current thing. Then they reshot the hell out of it, and neither director wanted to claim credit for it. So the editor who took the two versions and knitted them together, he took directorial credit for essentially directing a new movie out of the other two. And so I kind of did what John does. I scrubbed through the silent version and one of the ones that was made in the 20s, and it's weird because it's like, it really is essentially the same movie. Whatever's the contents of the novel is, I'm assuming they're all pretty faithful to it, because they all basically do the same thing. It's like you recognize the same characters and they're all the same chess playing setup, and the guy in the French Foreign Legion things, and all that's kind of the same. It's just sort of, you just get more or less of it. And the thing that's weird about this one is that they spent like a lot of over $1 million in 1949, 1950 money, and it was a huge flop when it came out too, even with her being kind of a big star. And
she wasn't that big because I never heard of her.
Well, she made like 20 movies, and she was like top billed in more than half.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they all made money.
Well, there was a book about her that came out, and kind of the thesis of the book was like, as big a star as she was back in the day, she's virtually forgotten now. Right. And a lot of these movies haven't aged well because they're very campy, and
right.
Yeah. Part of the appeal of Cobra Woman was that how not well it had aged, but it's still freaking entertaining as hell. Right. So the problem with this one was it's really slow moving. You don't get there are sets, there's big sets, but they look like they just put a bunch of stuff that doesn't match. But that might have been the point. Like, like this is the last.
You mean like the armadillo and Dracula?
Well, so the premise is that Atlantis, that the Sahara was once an ocean, and Atlantis sunk into that ocean, and now that it's a desert, it's like in this mountain range. Atlantis is in this mountain range in the middle of the Sahara. So some guys from the French Foreign Legion find it, and and she plays this evil but beautiful queen. But she doesn't play her like evil. She plays her like you can kind of see why the guys would overlook all the horrible things that they just kind of off the cuff say that she does. But it's slow moving. You don't get like the costumes. Like she's got gowns and costumes that are pretty cool, but like the Atlanteans, they're basically Berbers or Tuaregs or people, Bedouins,
Tuaregs.
Tuaregs. They're basically like desert dwelling people costumes, which okay, and then a lot of the conversation is between Europeans who are kind of like stuck there. There's a guy who can't talk. There's a guy who's kind of like the butler, or what do you call the house? What do you call the kind of effeminate guy who sort of like runs the house for rich people? That
Mexican.
Kind of guy. He's the one that has the most English sounding accent of the rest of them. The two guys, the two main guys who are at odds over her, they're from the French Foreign Legion. One of them, I think he actually is French, and the accent is authentic.
Does he surrender halfway through the movie?
He sure does. Well, he gets a load of her and is like, hey. So, but again, it's like more of an intrigue story than a spectacle story. There's nothing that sinks into the sea at the end. There's no explosion or volcano or big bang at the end. It's sort of and it's slow moving. Having said all of those things, I liked it and I'm glad I saw it, but I wasn't compelled to run out and buy the Blu-ray like I did for Cobra Woman. I was like, I could see myself wanting to see this again and Cobra Woman again in 5 years, and I just don't want just like the download file or the YouTube version. I can't count on the YouTube version being around forever. So this one I was like, I saw it once. If I never see it again, I'm good. Or maybe I'll go back and watch one of the older ones. So, but having said that, what I have on tap next is there's a Machiste rescues the captive woman, but it's a remake of the same story with Machiste, and the evil queen even has the exact same name as all these other versions that were adapted from the novel, except Machiste fights another gladiator and fights this and fights that and the other thing. It's in color, and that has all the spectacle stuff that I want to see in an Atlantis movie. So it's been a fun, and the version on YouTube is really nice. It's a pretty good copy. So I mean, I'm having a great time with these things. We never get feedback from our listeners, but if either of you guys get bored with my retelling of them, let me know and I'll dial it back. Like with the Indian movies, I can just tell you guys are like looking at your phones and going to get something to eat or whatever. So I'm like, I saw an Indian movie. It was good. That's it. But these are a lot of fun.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really watched much. I've been watching the football, but I did watch a reality show called Outlast, and they dropped 16 people off the coast of Panama. They split them in. They split them into 3 groups, and one group has got to outlast the other. And there's Kaz's home, and you can vote people off your group that you don't like. And they have 24 hours to find another group they can join. But then each group only has to have 5 players. You can't have more than 5. So automatically one person gets voted off in the first episode because there's 16 players. But it was a lot of fun, and the people we wanted to win, myself and Marnie watching it, the people we wanted to win actually won it. So we were thrilled, because that very rarely happens. And they're nice people too. They weren't assholes. Because there is one group there is one group in the show that you look at them going, I hope these motherfuckers don't win, because they're just they're just dickheads. I mean, just horrible people. So it was really fun, really fun. Outcast 8 episodes. It's on Netflix, I think. So and I know there's 2 other series before it, so I'll have to watch those now after saying that. But yeah, that's it for me. Just Outlast.
Okay. That's
So
I mean, the football alone is like hours and hours and hours. And
oh
hours.
yeah, there's been some surprises there. I think it's Cabo Verde. They made it to the knockout rounds, which is the first time in their history, and they're a small little nation that nobody's expecting them ever to get through. And they threw a kind of spanner or a wrench in the works by qualifying for the knockout round. And their goalkeeper though is he only had like 1,000 followers on Instagram. Now he's up to like the 20 million or something. Because he's the oldest goalkeeper in the competition, and he's fantastic. I mean, he saved them so many times. Another story was Curacao, which was the smallest nation ever in the World Cup. They only have a population of 158,000 people, and they managed to get a point in the World Cup, which is like a big deal for them. And Dick Advocat, the guy who managed them, he's an older guy. He when they qualified for the World Cup, it was a huge shock, right? Because I think God, who was the he managed England for a while and was second command to Fergie for a long time. Oh God, this is what happens when you get old. I should know his name.
That's it.
But he managed a team in their group to qualify for the World Cup, and there was a shock that he didn't get the team qualified. That Curacao beat them, and so he ended up resigning. And Dick Advocat, after he qualified the World Cup, he got news that his daughter had cancer or something like that, and so he had to quit the national team. He couldn't go to the World Cup, but she did some treatment and she's recovering. So he said, "Oh, I can go back." So he came back for the World Cup games, and their very first point they ever got at the World Cup, and he's crying after it. You know, it's just amazing to see that he took this small little nation and brought them to the biggest stage in the world and managed to steal a point from one of the teams that are like ranked way higher and better than them. So that was they didn't make it to the next round, but that was good to see that. It's good to see little stories like that happening. But I did watch the white genocide team play against Canada, America's Hat the other day in the playoff in the knockout stage. Yeah, South Africa against Canada, and that was a decent game. If South Africa had any decent strikers, they would have won that game easy. But they didn't. They had one guy in it that looked like the hot chocolate guy. Every time I saw his face, I went, "I believe in miracles."
Oh,
I was trying to take
I
a
don't
picture
even know
of
if
him.
I'd know what that guy looked like.
Yeah, Errol something his name is.
Errol Brown.
Yeah. Every time they showed his face, I'd get the phone out to take a picture of him. Then the camera would move somewhere else. I'm like, God damn it! But yeah. So Canada are through to the next. Well, they're going to get knocked out in the next round anyways, because they're going to play against the Dutch. I think the Dutch aren't going to lose their knockout game today. That's it, really. Nothing else.
Okay.
I've been working on compiling all the Kyla stuff together for the Treasury. That's been a joy. So that's it. So you guys want to do the prog?
Let's rock.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub.
Okay, we have Prog 2488 with a terrible cover by Neil Roberts.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Yeah, that was
From the
shocking.
preview.
It was shocking how bad, because Neil Roberts is actually a really good, talented artist, and I don't know what happened to him on this cover, but we have Judge Anderson who needs a shave. She's got like a shadow on her face there from
5
not
o'clock
shaving.
shadow.
Yeah,
Well,
5
she is
o'clock
old.
shadow.
I mean, she's an older woman.
No, you don't do that.
They have
What?
electrolysis in the future.
Yeah, and then the pose and the anatomy, and it just looks all over the place.
The weird finger on the left hand.
Yeah. Well, I understand he's trying to bend the finger a bit, but why do they always, when they do a picture, like a cover of Anderson, she's always touching her head?
I know. And the weird thing is, on the left arm, elbow pad looks so it's floating because of the leathers.
Yeah,
So-
it's just
and
a
there's
bad.
too many links. They're big,
It
they're
absolutely
grey.
shocked me. Absolutely shocked me how bad this cover was, and it's by Neil Roberts. And Neil,
Mm.
if he's listening in, dude, I love your artwork, but this one is just like, what the heck?
Yeah. It doesn't quite work.
No.
Yeah.
What
Well,
do you think, Rossy?
all the things you said.
Mm.
Takes a while to get the old iPad warmed up. Yeah, I mean, if anything, they should actually have made her bigger.
Yeah.
As not great as that artwork is, they should have made her bigger. So, and you got this. Okay, so you got this big black thing covering the title and the logo, and then
The big dildo.
Right. Maybe they should somehow, I don't know how the perspective could be made to work. You don't cover the 2000 AD with the thing, or if you do, you make her bigger and put her head like right in the bird's
Eagle.
crotch, right in the eagle's crotch, like. Because the selling point, if the selling point is Anderson's back, then that seems to be what you got to do. Yeah, I don't think it's as terrible as you guys do, but I also think it's also just kind of gets a shrug for me because of, okay, so, Judge Anderson's back. Yay.
Mm. Yeah, even though all the psychics are supposed to have all their brains blown out.
Well,
Yeah.
she's back, but she's also in this story. So, you're going to have to work a little harder to get more than a shrug out of me if it's tied into this story. So,
Yeah. Okay, Judge Rico, The Omelette, Part 6, The Finders, Part 2, Tom Tully, Jake Lynch, Emily Roach, who I'm going to take as David Roach's daughter in Colours, and Annie Parkhouse.
Oh my God. So it's part 6, and I've only realised it's Judge Rico.
yeah.
Oh my God. Here we go.
It's Judge Rico, which is migrating back and forth between this and the magazine. So,
Yeah. As an emergency broadcast is happening, Joe Fargo and Lana Locke keep not telling each other things, and as Lana senses something, an undead creep comes for her. Ooh. Joe shoots it and hands her a spare pistol, and they battle against more undead that have clawed their way through the earth to get to them both. Once they've easily taken care of those, a robot appears and says, "Don't shoot, family man." Yes, we know what that means, and then shows a Ben Kenobi hologram of Marsha Hobber. She tells the pair to follow Rabelais as she can help them find the man they're looking for. Next frame, and they're stood talking to Marsha, and the old "it's complicated and I can't explain anymore right now" clap is said between the group. For fuck's sakes. She then says that Dread has been excised from the city's collective memory, and that's the real attack. But at the same time, others are dealing with the Black Tower bottle of wine. They shall deal with finding Dread, though. She ends by saying that the city has always been protected by its favoured sons, Dread being one of them, and that Mr. Jeremiah is also one, and he will let them find Dread in their search. Oh yeah, that kills me on TV and in movies when they don't tell each other things, and it's a vitally important thing that they need to know. I ain't got time to tell you that. Yeah, but later on, when you should have told me, you nearly died because you didn't tell that sort of shit.
Yeah.
I thought that the undead coming to life and them two wasting them all was boring. Which is, I mean, the amount of undead that came at them, they would have been overwhelmed. Have they got rechargeable weapons and this ultimate magazine of rounds, that sort of stuff. And then the bit where the robot does the old hologram, and basically you look at the next panel and they're there. It's just like, oh my God, was that supposedly an end of a part or something? I don't know. But yeah, it's just not doing it for me still. It's just all these coincidences happen. And sometimes you just, and one of the problems as well, is you go from Dan Cornwell's art to Jake Lynch. I like both people's art, but it seems to me like, why are you doing this? It's, you either have one do the whole thing or the other.
Well, it's not really a Dread strip, is it?
Well, that's
It's
true.
a Fargo strip or Rico strip.
Mm.
Yeah. And one of the big things, when I read that initial bit where the emergency broadcast was happening, that was way too long and gobbledygooked. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You don't do that if you're trying to keep the citizens indoors. You just give them a little bit of information. That's it. Stay indoors, and that's it. But this just went on forever, saying tons of stuff.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
kind of an info dump, except for a couple of pages where they're just blowing away zombies, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember this character, this lady and her robot. No, remember this Solomon Kane kind of character that um, also appeared in the magazine and everything else, and
Yeah. But it's things like this, and I mentioned it. You're not from here. Then why do you have a big Meg accent? You sound Meg Central, born and bred. Like I said before, it's complicated. Well, here's an idea, mate. Tell her.
gotta have a catchphrase. You gotta have
Yeah,
your. I knew you'd say that. I'll be the
yeah,
judge of that. So yeah, it. I like the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork. That's a. You know, I had this conversation with somebody during the week, and I was like, the artwork is. Oh, a friend of mine, Jim, and I said the artwork is always great, but the stories just suck.
Yeah, it's um, it really feels. But between all the side quests and everything else, and it's in two different magazines now, and multiple stories. Sometimes it's multiple stories, but the last magazine had like 2 or 3 tie-ins. One of the and they're not even some of them aren't even that important. It's just kind of like, oh, here's that character from the big main story. With these other characters who are some of my regulars in the magazine now, and yay. This is going to have to, like, the ending for this. Rennie has come up with, Rennie, I don't know about Ken Neiman. I don't remember a great Ken Neiman ending that isn't just like a cliffhanger
that
for
fucking
something
chimp
else.
will save the day.
Oh my God. I mean, it feels like they're really dumping everything into this one, and it's going to have to really not come together and knock itself out of the park. If he writes himself into a corner and just takes the lazy way out after all of the buildup and all of these installments
All the
and
stories are the lazy way out.
all the little 3-parters that have been teasing this for the past however long this is dragged out, this is going to have to be like the mega epic to end all mega epics. And based on the past, I don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen. So every time something new pops up, or like this, the member berries kick in or whatever, it gets to be like, oh, So I'm basically making that Tom Hanks face where he's like, when Ricky Gervais is making fun of the pedophiles and Tom Hanks is going like, that's kind of the face I'm making, thinking about like how this is going to end if it doesn't end well. So
Okay, Brink called the Call of the Void, Part 17. Dan Abnett, I'm Jay Culbard, and Simon Boland. Say it,
okay,
Rossy. Say it.
it is best Part 17 of Brink you could hope for. It's there was a one of the security people that it turned out was following Castaneda just sort of disappeared, disintegrated into a bloody mess last time. And they say, well, there's this gravity pad and it had gone bad, and that's what done her in. And her partner's upset because they've been partnered up for a while. Then they cut to Samuel L. Jackson and Bridget Curtis, and they're going to try to do another one of these link-ups with Gita's ship, which is going off into the void to where the incident had happened. Ooh, and then there's like 2 pages of conversation that I just cannot recap. I don't have those skills. And then this Cutwell lady shows up on the scene where the bad pad happened, and she's pissed off because Castaneda's there. But Castaneda says, "Oh, I was chasing this Levinson person. This is the lead." And it's like, okay, well, he was the other person who was disintegrated by this gravity pad. So it's a lot of spinning wheels. Now, this is an example of going on forever, lots of spinning wheels. But if you can make the effort to keep track of what's going on, things pay off.
Mm. What do you think, John?
I quite enjoyed it. It had I enjoyed the sort of like the anti-grav or the faulty grav plate thing. Is that a real? Did that really happen, or was it just an accident? Well, I think we can figure that out. It's moving the story along quite nicely, but I love the artwork. I loved everything about it. You got them 2 pages sat in that vehicle chatting to each other. I love the light effects on their faces, and then you get to the next 2 pages where you've got the writing. We're looking from the back side of the writing on the where we've seen back with the crime scene stuff. And I quite like that. I like the labs, all of the crime scene officers in their white outfits with their little sort of like logo badges on their sleeves.
But no logo.
Yeah, it's quite nicely done. So it's moving along nice and slow.
See, you wouldn't have accepted that in Dread. Those badges and everything else with no logo on them.
I accept it from him because it's his style. It's always been his style.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll let you away with it.
Yeah,
it's a little bit minimal, but yeah.
All right, the Fall of Dead World, Justice Part 2, Keck W, Dave Kendall, Simon Boland.
Okay, this looks like me again. So I went back and reread the first installment, and then went right into reading this one, and everything was a lot clearer. So they're at Sector House 13. There's like this black judge, the girl, and this mutant boy. They released the hunter warrior woman with the bow and arrows, and they released the Judge Siren, who's now called Lisa Soren. She's got Siren wrapped up in her brain cell. It's kind of gross the way it's depicted there. And that they're the resistance, and now they want to go see Judge Fairfax. So they go through the Sector House. They ask about Spike, who's like the Spike Harvey Rotten type character. They go off with Lopez, who looks like Danny Trejo. They're off doing something else. They go into the interrogation room. Fairfax has been torturing. No, Avo Eastwood has been torturing Fairfax. Lady Eastwood tries to resign, but they're not going to let her do it. Fairfax has got some kind of amazing healing factor, even though his back was all fucked up. It gets healed up by the dead juices, I suppose. And so anyway, it looks like they're all together, and Fairfax is going to go take the long walk, and that just leaves the black judge, the warrior lady with the bow, the 2 kids, and Judge Lisa Siren Soren. The end of that one.
Amazing artwork.
Yeah, I mean, they're still kind of recapping it. And before I was kind of like, man, it would have been better if they had just put a page explaining it. But I gotta say,
who the cast are and what they're,
if you have the patience to go back and reread these 2 installments back to back, it does become clearer. But I don't even remember what the main plot was and why those other 2 guys had gone off to do what they're going to do. And I suppose, shrug and buy the omnibus would be the answer, but so would
Mm.
also doing a cast sheet, like you said. So
Yeah, I think they should do something for a story that has been out of Prague for a couple of years or a year.
mm-hmm,
They should definitely, if they bring it back, they should definitely do 1 page of recap,
mm-hmm.
who the
Yeah,
characters are and stuff like that. But that takes a bit of effort, so I don't expect that from 2008.
that's right. And they could easily do a proper recap in the bloody intro bit at the front of the prog, couldn't they? In this prog, instead of just going like a big spiel about, like when you look at the Rico one, about the 300 million citizens, blah blah blah. Well, actually give us a fucking proper recap with names and stuff. I mean, what's the Fall of Deadwell got? The planet, there you are. The planet became known as Deadwell was once a regular civilization existing in a parallel dimension, but the end of days is coming, and creatures called the Dark Judges are spreading their contagion, exterminating all life, while Sov forces have taken advantage of the chaos and invaded. And then the final half a sentence is what's going on. Jess Charles and their fellow rebels must rescue Judge Fairfax as they try to save a world falling into chaos. That doesn't give you enough. You know, all the fest spiel you don't need to know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, artwork fantastic. Facial expressions really good. Colours nice. I did enjoy the way that she decides to do the long walk at the end. So that was quite interesting. But apart from that, like you say, it's still sort of like recapping and building to the next part. And I think the problem with strips with a lot of characters in, we know exactly the thing with Brink. It's too slow and long, entertaining, yes, but it's too slow and long to be done as in an anthology. It's just the week is just too much. With this, you've got it's a lot more speedy on the action to build up, but again, you've got a big group of characters, and by the time you've tried to remember from a year plus ago, whenever the last part was in, you're like, oh my God, where are we at now? We're doing this. And then we move on. I just think because it's building up the trades all the time, we're not getting a decent amount of time with each story. But yet you get the special prog, which we had last week, which had another, I don't know, probably 10 pages in. And that was like, I think that was $4.99. This is $3.99. I'm quite happy to have that issue every month. Every week. At least you could put a bit more of each. You don't have to have like 7 strips in. Keep the 5 strips, but elongate a couple to let it breathe a bit each week, so you get more in it. But apart from that, I did enjoy it. Just wish we had a bit more. We didn't wait so long between each installment, not installment, each book, because it's just too long.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, the strip that nobody wanted is returning. Nightmare New York, Book 2, Part 1 by Keck W., David Roach, Peter Doherty, and Annie Parkhouse.
Okay, so there's a beautifully detailed establishing shot of New York, Bowery, Manhattan, 1845. The ginger girl is talking to her rat, and I guess she can see through the rat's eyes, and it disorients her. The lady who I believe gave her a job and kind of took her in. They're talking about they kind of recap that, you know, the ginger girl's father tried to sacrifice her, and there was they sort of lost their money, blah 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 blah. The ginger girl goes to talk to these guys who hang out in front of the Bowery Theater, and they all wear the same kind of suits and top hats, and they kind of gather around. Are they going to grape her? I don't know. She kicks one in the nuts.
Which is amazing writing. I've never seen characters being kicked in the nuts before.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be a sentinel of that sort of surprise.
Although my first debonair story, like one of the images does have her kicking somebody in the nuts.
Right. Well,
but that was over 20 years ago, before I knew any different.
It's a classic.
Didn't we have a kick in the nuts not long ago as well, which we laughed at?
Yeah.
So going back to what's happening, the mother.
Should release a comic book, just call it Kick in the Nuts.
Ain't that a kick in the nuts? So there, I think something happened like with the mother, and so these guys were going to break into the mother's house, and I don't remember. I honestly do not remember what happened, and I hope to God John did the Anderson story because I don't remember what happened there.
I did.
Okay, good. So anyway, the guys at the top hats break into the house, and they got a threaten. They were threatened, talking, you die. And meanwhile, the ginger girl goes back in the bakery, and somebody comes in and bursts into flame and leaves a pile of ash on the floor. At the end.
You know, there is a comic book released by Mad Cave called Junk Punch.
Wow.
And that's basically what the character does. It punches you in the junk.
The funniest part of the Onion movie was this actual Steven Seagal bit called Cock Puncher. It's like a fake trailer, and it actually has him in it.
Or Idiocracy. What was it? Ow My Balls.
Ow My Balls. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. The artwork is nice. I like David Roach's art, although I think he relies too much on photo reference. And some of the artwork is like Uncanny Valley, like page 1, 2, 3. Page 3, bottom right hand panel, the bottom panel. It looks like she's breaking her neck to look at the guy. It's just a weird shot. And then the guy in the background, see where his hat is? His hat's the same level as the wall. So it looks like part of the wall instead of the hat.
Now, that's not even the worst thing on that panel to me. The thing on the panel to me is the end wall on the left-hand side where the steps are. That line is so straight, there's no dip for the mortar between the stones. And it makes the steps look weird.
Yeah, he's a good artist, but he relies so heavily on photo reference that it really shows. But yeah, I have no interest in the story at all. I don't know why they brought it back.
No, I haven't. Although I did enjoy the second page, second panel, where she invites the rat to climb into her knickers.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like I believe there was a Keck W thing, and what was it? John Burns he did some of the first parts of it, and they were like, okay, we'll bring in David Roach to finish it up. And
he's going to have what was the time travel story that Keck W did with all the worms? They're going to show up in it, right? They're going to show up in Nightmare in New York, right?
Oh yeah, because the Order, wasn't it? The Order.
Yeah, the Order is going to show up at some stage.
Out of Order.
Sure, why not? The thing, I mean, to me, the thing is like, they should have just let it go. So the question is it because did they do this because there weren't enough pages? I think it was a relatively short thing. So was there not enough pages to collect it as a book? I don't know.
I tell you what I do love though. Keck W is like, well, I'm going to need a character like Bill Sykes, but I can't call him Bill Sykes. I know, Sykesy.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, Bill Sykes from Oliver.
I wonder if he's got a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say more gruel, sir, when the last series ended, so.
Nobody did. But we're getting it anyways, because Barg knows best.
That's right.
Okay. Anderson Side Division, The Void, Part 1, Liam Johnson, Rob Richardson, Rob Steen.
Cassandra wakes up after barely 10 minutes in a sleep machine and tells Judge Nash that they should make themselves useful, even though Nash had just told her that due to the town messing up nigh on all Side Division, they want her to relax and stay fresh in case she really is needed. They end up at a med station, because they buggered off, and help out a little. Whilst there, Anderson says that she doesn't need a babysitter and she has to get to the tower. Just then, she stumbles and Nash says that she needs more rest, but a voice inside Anderson's head says, Anderson, Help me, please. There you have it.
Wow, that was concise.
Yes.
How come they don't age Anderson if Anderson exists in real time in the strip?
Look at how she's got like wrinkles and bags under her eyes. What more do they want? They don't have
Well,
any
that's
like
because she was.
actual. They don't have any real cucumbers in the future, so it's like
They haven't
can't.
got the right number links, so it fails on all parts.
Oh, boy, I will say I do like the that retro sort of. It's not really retro, but it's like that style, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah, he's a good artist, but I don't know if I'd use him for Mega City 1 stuff. But
Mm,
it kind of suits Anderson, though.
yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't hate it.
I thought all the side judges, though, had their brains blown out from the
I
psychic
thought
wave
that.
of
I
it.
knew she's the best of the best of the best, so it just didn't do anything to her.
Well, you don't know where this falls on the timeline, and maybe it. Well,
No,
here's
do
It's
you see that?
there.
You can see it right behind her. You can see the
Yeah, that's
Dark
right.
Tower
Yeah.
right behind him. In a lot of the panels, actually.
mm,
Actually, 2 panels.
oh yeah, there it
A
is.
multi-loop
Okay,
page, you see it in the distance, and she's not
Yes.
that far away from it.
so
And
the
then
whole
in the
point
last panel.
is,
So
yeah.
why didn't she get affected by it?
That's right.
Is it because she was in the sleep machine?
Well,
Could
I'm
be.
sure other side judges would have been in sleep machines at that precise moment.
Hmm. I got nothing then.
The artwork is
He's
really
got
nice.
nothing.
I got nothing.
I do like the lack of a line around the panels, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of free floating. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nice. It's good. I don't like that it ties into the Black Tower stuff because we've already we have Fargo now or Rico. Now we have this. Then you have
We're gonna
the
have,
the
we'll have
Dread, and then
every single strip will tie in. It'll be the biggest multi crossover ever, just so they can make some news somewhere in the comic world.
yeah. Anyhow, what do you think?
Well, I liked certain bits of the artwork. I mean, that final image of her is really nice. Nice hair effect. It'll be interesting to see where it goes and if they can explain why she wasn't affected yet. The whole of Side Division was affected.
There is one panel that looks really awkward, but I don't know the way you would have got around it. It's like page 1, 2, 3. Page 3, the second panel where she's looking at the other judge, the way her
Oh,
ego
her head.
is. Yeah, I don't know what he might have picked a different shot for that, but it's kind of awkward with the eagle on the head.
Well, perhaps we've got a new style of women in the comic turning their heads at strange angles.
It's a new comic book. We can call it Head Turner to go with
That's right.
How My Balls.
Ball
the comic.
kicker.
Yeah, ball kicker, ball breaker.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, what was your favorite story?
All right. Fucking hell. I'll just go with the Fall of Dead World for no particular reason.
Seconded by me. What about you, Rossy? Give us a rundown of every single story like you usually do, and then pick your favorite.
Yeah, re-say what I already just said.
And then say, oh no, I'll go for this instead.
Honestly, some like part of it's because of I was kind of sleepy or whatever, but the last 2 stories were so completely unmemorable. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna say because the effort paid off. Dead World.
It tells you something as we all went sort of like, there was nothing like just went, that's the one.
Well, again, I mean, we came off. There was a pretty good arc in there that we were all kind of like, oh yeah, is it going to be one of these 3? They're all that we really enjoyed, and the other 2, the art was at least really good. But now it's kind of like, oh well, there's Brink, there's Brink, and then there's the Dead World one, and the Dead World one I'm 50-50 about till now, and it's like, oh, okay, it's This is the previously Dead World was like the most 2000 AD story of that run of Progs. You know, it's like it's the weirdest, it's the funniest, it's the most action packed, it's the most outrageous. So right now hopefully it's gaining steam, because right now it's just sort of like characters standing around talking, trying to figure out, remember who everybody is and what they're doing there. But you know, the Anderson story, I don't, you know, what was the last great Anderson story they ran?
It was written by Alan Grant.
Shambhala.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the Devil one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how many decades ago was that?
Right, exactly. So, well, you know, the ones, but those
That's
were
a
Alan
very
Grant.
deep subject, Rossy.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the Boo Cook stories too. Were pretty good.
Yeah, but they
those
were
also
they
written-
were Alan Grant though.
They were Alan Grant. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, yeah. So,
You know who would think would have a really good shot at Anderson? He did one Anderson story that was pretty all right. It's oh God, Alec Worley.
Yeah, because he did some of the novels, didn't he? If I remember correctly. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Year One Anderson.
Yep.
Yeah. Isn't he doing? He's the guy who's writing the
Durham Red.
Durham Red stories too. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. Well, maybe they could get another Scottish writer who's Alan Grant's best friend to come in, and you know, they could they could have the showdown between.
But does he have the eye for detail?
Maybe. They could have Ichabod Azrael versus Pale Grim Rider, you know, as part of a story too. So it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen.
All right, I think we're done. Anything to say before we hit the road?
Oh yes. My Good Lady's School, 5 Acre Wood, is in the top 10 nominations in the world for innovation. It was on the ITV News, the Meridian, the local one, where they went round, because they've got tons of stuff on site. They've got an airplane, train carriage. There's a lifeboat, I think, and they've all been changed at this stuff. And they've also got in the railway carriage, they've got a barista type course, so people are learning to be baristas and all that, which is pretty good. I went in there, and the lass who served me was really good. There's a person who's instructing them, so it was quite nice. Yeah, there's tons of stuff that they do at the school which are amazing. They have a big summer fete every year called Woodstock, and when I think I might mention this a while back when it happened, because Carolyn told me, she said that they had dodgems, carousels, and all sorts there, and I went, "What? A full-scale dodgem area?" She was, "Yeah." I said, "Oh my God, I would have come up for that and smashed into all the kids. I had a brilliant time."
I'm sure you would have.
And they do songs every year, which go into the charts and got gold discs and things. But yeah, so I'm very proud of their work at the school for that. And then the final thing I've got, thank you, I shall take that to her. The final thing is, we went with Samuel to visit him on Saturday, as we always do. We had a lovely Mexican meal, and then as we were driving into Folkestone, there was a sign saying "Parking Armed Forces Day," and I'm like, "Oh, Armed Forces Day! Oh, I wonder what they're doing." And there was a fly past where they had Spitfire, Hurricane, Chinook, biplane. So we had our meal, went down the pier. At the end of the day, like, we had 2.5 hours left. We ambled up to the place on the Lees to see what they had. And they had all the stands and stuff and the food and everything, but we'd already eaten. And just then, I could hear the noise of the Spitfire coming, and I'm just like, "Oh, here it comes." They had a Spitfire with a Hurricane behind it. It was fantastic. I even had goosebumps on my arms, and it was, unless you've heard them before, which Flint might have had them, but Rossy, you never would have heard one in the flesh. It is just, the sound is amazing, and it takes you right back. Even though we weren't alive then, but we've watched all the films. from World War II, and there was, I think there was like 24 variants of the Spitfire, and in the end they clipped the end of the wings, which made it more maneuverable in turns and stuff, and faster and this, that, and the other. Sadly, the person, I think it was the person who created the Spitfire, it might have been the Hurricane, died before they actually produced them, so he never saw how well they did, because the Spitfire was the glory fighter, the Hurricane was the workhorse, which actually destroyed more planes because there was more Hurricanes as well. And they flew past, and looking up and down the line of all the people viewing, the cameras were out, everyone was just like in awe, and people from different nationalities who were there were just awestruck at the sound of it and watching it it was doing victory rolls and all sorts of stuff, and all victory rolls were banned in the past because obviously they were dangerous, but it was doing it. There was a person doing the tannoy talking about it. He was also a display pilot for the Spitfire, so he was telling you exactly what was going on. And he said the person who was flying in the Hurricane behind him, he said his cockpit, all he can see is the whole of it will be filled with that Spitfire. That's how close he is, and he's following him in formation. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch it. Then we were walking away, and then Ed had come on the thing, and a Chinook's going to come past now. Everyone calls it a Walker because that's the noise it makes. And that came through. It was fantastic. And I was saying to Sam, yeah, I used to jump out of them into the sea and fast rope on the stuff. No interest.
No.
And then there was the biplane. What I took from the biplane was, it was on the sea, because that's where they've got to do all the displays in case it crashes, obviously. They do it across the sea. The speed of it was so slow. It felt as though we were walking and it wasn't getting ahead of us. But obviously it was a distance thing. It was an optical illusion. But the speed compared to the Spitfire and the Hurricane, which are doing 300 miles an hour, it was hilarious. But to see mainly for me, the Spitfire and the Hurricane, to see them on the area where they actually fought across the channel and things like that, it's just like takes you back. We saw the Spitfire the other day when we were up in the North Downs, and that one flew across, and it was so low across, it was amazing. But by the time I couldn't have got my phone out in time, took a video, but I just watched it do a barrel roll there and then fly off, and it's just the noise of it approaching, because it's iconic. It's probably the most famous plane in the world. You know what I mean? Even like something like Concorde doesn't do anything for Spitfire, because every pilot you talk to, who is whether it be a civilian aircraft or military, if they can have a chance, no matter what plane they've flown, if they can have a chance to fly Spitfire, they would love it. They all say that's the plane, because it is everything. It's the daring, it's the maneuverability, all that sort of stuff. They all want to fly that, even if they've flown the best fighter on the planet. So, but yeah, so we had a brilliant time there, and went up to the British Legion table and got a few little bits and bobs there. They tried to get me to join.
Oh, really?
Oh, they always try. Every time I'm at a British Legion table, because I always put a load of money in, because even at this time, the woman opened the bucket up to give me change. And I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "No, that's for that." I said, "MX Forces, that doesn't that money to me is nothing." And she's like, "Oh no, well, take a few more of this, take a few more of that." I said, "No, I only wanted was the 3 badges and that little thing for my son."
We don't need no stinking badges.
That's right. Well, these the poppy badges that they do each year, and you have the year on it. So you've got a metal poppy badge you can do, and so they do the year on it to stop people just getting one. And this has to be the reason, to stop people getting one and having the same one every year. You know what I mean? So I've got about, I don't know, 10 of them from whenever 2016 when they first started doing them. I don't know, but yeah, it was nice. The Gurkhas were up there. There was some displays up there. It was nice to see people. There was 3 women singing the old songs, like the old day songs. I felt like I should have took a bit of video and give it to you, Rossy, so you could see it all. But that music of them singing was tannoyed all the way down the leads, which is, like I say, it's like a cliff edge sort of thing effect. But at first you're thinking, oh, they're playing some songs from the World War days, you know, the World War II days. And as you got close to the bandstand, you saw the 3 ladies singing. You went, No, it wasn't playing records. It was them three women live, and they
Oh
were pretty
wow.
good. Yeah, and they had loads of deck chairs out of people sat there. There was covered deck chairs with people in the shade, a bit too hot for them. It was a lovely afternoon up there, wandering about and seeing stuff. So, very nice and hard for people to park, but not for us because we park in Sam Street and then we wander down. But yeah, it's one of those things. And the next thing I've got lined up, let me have a look at my phone. Oh, come
I
on,
mean,
open up your twat.
to be fair, I have seen an air show before where they brought out World War II planes, but it
Not
was a
the
long time ago.
Spitfire.
I don't remember. I remember there being a Japanese Zero, but I don't remember if there
Well,
was
of
a
course,
Spitfire.
they're your favourites, aren't they? 1941.
Yeah. So
But yeah, we've got next thing we've got lined up a Maidstone Festival, the Rock Festival over middle of July, week after Blue Reef Festival, and then the whole of the middle of August I'm off on
Do you
holiday.
think most of those bands will be able to live before then? None of them will keel over and die before you get to see them?
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. But got all the time booked off, so I'm happy with all that. So it should be a good time. And obviously we got that Jesus Christ Superstar. We're going to watch that, which apparently is kicked
Finish
off
it
last
off.
week. It's kicked off last weekend.
What was
So
the slang? What was the slang for that?
what the for
Jesus
the
Christ Superstar.
Where's Speedy Knickers? That you mean the song?
Yeah. Jesus Christ Superstar walks like a woman and he wears a bra.
Oh yeah, we had the
ours
bra bit, but we had
was
Freddie Knickers as well.
ours was hopping down the street in his motor car.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then we're staying at that Rock and Roll Hotel, which I was checking out again last night when I was. You're gonna love this, Rossy. When I finished work a little bit early and there was no job, so I sat around for 2.5 hours up in the canteen having a free breakfast because it was Military Veterans Week at the supermarket that I work at. So I just went, hey, I'm ex-military. Where's my breakfast? Oh. So I got my phone out. Facebook, there's some pictures. That's me. So I had a free breakfast.
Wow.
Oh dear. I love it.
You spend enough on food as it is, so
That's
the
it.
occasional free one.
Well, at the shops we do, but I don't buy anything at the canteen. I bring all my stuff in, so all my sandwiches are homemade and stuff like that. But I don't eat half the stuff. Karen goes, "Why are you taking so much stuff?" I said, "Sometimes you eat everything. Most times you eat hardly anything. You eat sandwiches and you might have like a packet of crisps. But once in a very sort of like say 5-6 months, I'll eat everything that I take in because you suddenly just feel hungry. But yeah, so that's everything planned and exciting wise for me. And I shall just watch the web and watch the madness unfold as we have our non-general election happen to have our new Prime Minister.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just as bad as appointing Kamala Harris as the nominee for the. I mean, you guys have Burnham, but nobody voted for him.
Powerful people just change the rules to suit themselves, and other people will be going, them are the rules. Well, they shouldn't be the rules because he wasn't voted in on any mandate. So about 20,000 people voted him to be the MP of that town, wherever it was. I can't remember the name of it, Macclesfield or something like that. So those 20,000 people have decided who the next Prime Minister is. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Now, they're all as bad
that
as each
sounds
other.
wrong.
They're all as bad as each other because the Tories did it as well with theirs. But the first time I remember it happening was when Blair just went, right, I fucked this up now. Blind gold seller, Brown, it's your turn, you can take over. And he let him just take over. So he
Yeah, that
started
shouldn't be
all
allowed.
this. Yeah, it's pathetic, isn't it? It's absolutely pathetic. But these people think they're untouchable.
Well, with Kamala Harris's, in her defense, she was the VP, and so if something bad happens to the president, the VP is supposed to take over. So, I mean, I
Thank
can
God he
kind of
wasn't
see that.
senile or anything, and she took over.
So I can see why they put her forward. But other than that, if they hadn't put her forward, then she would have been seen as a. Well, we all know she was a DEI hire, but
Oh, yeah.
it would have been so obvious that she was if they didn't have her. But yeah, but UK, I mean, I'm like, that's strange.
Yes.
Oh,
And
well.
obviously, he doesn't care about children either.
He didn't have any kids, does he?
You know, but he doesn't worry about the paedophile gangs. His thing that he was doing, he just said, "Oh well, yeah, well, we did some stuff, but yeah, okay, let's move on."
Oh, that's not good.
No, he's another one. Then you just got to look it up. I think it's Operation August or Augustus. It mentions him and all this, but I'll just get sick of it all in the end. Nothing's going to happen to any of them.
Nope.
Yeah. All right, and on that bombshell, unless you have something else to say.
I almost feel like I should come up with something uplifting, but I'm like,
Pay your taxes.
He said uplifting.
Yeah, taxes at work. Your tax dollars at work. So I don't know what to say. Just
buy some Sword and Sandals movies.
Well, you don't even have to buy them; they're free on YouTube. The best things are life and free, especially if they're Sword and Sandal movies. Pretty ladies and togas, and cyclopses, and all kinds of good shit.
There you go. All right, and on that bombshell, I'll stop recording.